I 100% think it does.
Because if I've got the clear path at the puck, at least I can see it off the stick. The crazy thing is, they had, was it 2 different Grizzlies players that came over and started flinging at me? When those dudes came over and started flinging, you don't, now I'm 47. And so I don't know if my vision isn't as good. I just didn't see it until it hit me.
Really?
A lot of the pucks I wouldn't see until it hit me. And then I'm like, oh, there's the puck. Yeah. It just, and I only took about 15 slap shots from the blue line. Most of the shots I was taking they were probably 25, 30 feet and fire them at me. Almost, where you'd shoot a 3-point shot.
Just some wrist shots.
Yeah. Just some wrist shots. Nothing heavy, but around 60 miles per hour, he said those were coming.
Yeah. Did our guy take a shot or two?
I did not. I was doing a little bit of filming.
Yep, but Lloyd was skating backwards while he was filming.
Oh, I'm sure he was showing off. Yeah.
I was impressed. I couldn't believe he was moving around the ice. And Cole Bagley's, he can move.
Cole Bagley was showing off because he was wearing full-out gear. He went all straight up
Cole
gear.
Take shots
he was
at
all
you?
geared
He
up.
did. Yeah, and he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He actually, there's a video of a crossover that he did on me that it was really good. He came at me pretty hard speed, and it was pretty darn good.
You like what I just refrained from doing right there.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that coach, Ryan, is unbelievable.
We should get him on.
He's like a ghost when he skates. It's like,
really?
Yeah, because what he was doing was he's coming off the corner. So he would start lateral to the goal and come around the corner and then come at me. And I'm just like, and he's so smooth and he just boom, and he fires it. You don't even know when he's going to fling it at you.
How much does that helmet restrict your vision?
None.
Really? Okay.
No, that's the thing that I was most surprised by. You've got more vision in a goalie helmet than you do an NFL lineman's helmet.
Yeah, because
if anything, I was a little bit nervous. I even asked Jay about this. The gaps where the eyes are. I was like, can a puck make it through there? He's like, it's close. It could get wedged in there. I'm like, wow, because that's pretty open.
Boy, that'd rattle your cage
pretty open,
if you
man.
look up and you see that thing
puck
like
is stuck right
in there. Yeah.
So it was what an amazing opportunity. Like nobody ever gets that opportunity.
No, that's cool.
And so I totally recognize that. And I can't say enough thank yous to Jay because by the time you get that gear on, it took me 30 minutes to gear up. 30 minutes of just constant gear up. You start with some underpants, like some compression shorts, and then you've got this. The cup is different than you'd think. The cup is a full protector that actually comes up and protects the kidneys too.
Oh, that's good.
And then over the top of the compression shorts and the cup, you put compression pants, and then over that you put a very thick padding that's almost like a full girdle padding that goes all the way around you. It's a heavy girding padding that you pull up, and that covers you like the barrel guy at Utah State. It covers you from about here down to your knees.
Yeah.
And then you put the leg pads on, and by the time you're geared up, you just feel a little bit mechanical.
Oh, I bet.
But
Mr. Roboto going out there.
I don't know, Scotty. That's a tough position to play, bud. It takes a lot of core strength, a lot of lower quad, like a lot of quad strength, because you really have to sit in that crouching position, and then your stabilizing muscles, they're constantly firing. So that's what fatigued me.
Yeah, I bet.
But big thanks to Lloyd and Nate came out and filmed it, and Cole fired shots, but the biggest thanks to Jay. Jay's just incredible. He put a lot of work into that. Plus finding those skates, he had to get them out of what did he say? Korea, I think. I can't remember.
And you're holding on to those, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, there's nothing else we can do with them. So just hold on to them. So I got the skates. But a lot, it's a lot more wild than I thought. But I did have a blast.
Yeah.
And a big thank you to the Grizzlies for letting me on their ice. That was their practice. So I was out there with all their guys practicing. And those dudes are incredible.
Yeah. Those are good dudes, too. I mean,
good dudes.
Imagine, the NHL guys we've been exposed to, we've been able to chat with, are all been great guys. Imagine that and not being at that next level where you have all the money and everything like that. You just good down to earth.
Those dudes are doing it because they love it.
Yeah.
And head coach Ryan is a stud. Right? I mean, he's the GM. He's the head coach.
Wow.
He was actually onboarding 4 new guys today when I showed up.
Holy smokes.
They had 4 new guys that were showing up to jump on roster because there's just constantly guys leaving, coming in, going out, and in all kinds of duties. But got a newfound respect for NHL, man. I would say that it's not much different than if I were to take somebody and try to put them at the left offensive tackle position and line up with Dwight Freeney and say, okay,
block him.
Get your hand, touch him. See if you can touch him. And then if you do touch him, see if you can stay on your feet. And it's not much different. You just are on skates. And ice is really slippery.
Which I feel like is the hard part, is the being on skates.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. That's the next thing that's just a little bit different.
I could tell that if I'd skated for 15 years, I would love doing that. I would do it. I would do it on a weekend. I would do it on weekends just to go have fun and stop a couple of shots because it's fun. But without the skating experience, sitting in front of a net is nearly impossible.
So there wasn't a point where you like saw the puck and could realize, okay, I can get there in time and stop it. It was just like protect the body. And
when they went back to the blue line and they were throwing slap shots at me, but not the ones where it started getting it in the 80s. It was like in the 60s. I could see it come off that blue line and I could get my hand on those.
Okay. Did you catch any?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
But then when they started ramping up the speed, even the slap shot off the blue line, it's a blur. It's just bam. It's, they're coming in like almost like a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Yeah.
And so
some of that speed's about the same, really.
And you know what's crazy is he said, hey, I'm going to put one on your chest. And so I'm sitting there like, okay. And then the next thing you know, it hits me right square in the sternum.
Doesn't see it, just feels it.
They're accurate. But their accuracy is ridiculous.
It's insane. I'm going to put one off your chest. And I'm like, okay, boom. And it just went off my chest. I'm like, holy crap.
Oh, man. How hard was it to get the stick around?
Hard.
I bet.
Yeah, the stick's a help, but it's also a hazard.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep it and then to keep that blocker with your ability because you actually have to turn your hand and the stick upside down to you get that blocker out to hit the backside post.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I kind of want you to try it just so you can feel.
I kind of want to share the experience a little bit. And then also I don't, but.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It really is.
But I've never been on skates before, ever. So that makes me a little nervous,
Yeah, because I have probably skated 15 or 20 times in my life. So at least I've got some understanding of that. But these guys, their accuracy, when they throw a puck off their stick, their accuracy is goofy. It's insane. Like these 2 Grizzly guys that outside of the coach that were throwing it at me, it was like, okay, up high, off the right. And every one that I wasn't touching was going in. They're pretty incredible.
When you're in there and you feel it, obviously there's a lot of padding, but you still feel the contact, I got to imagine. Like you feel that sucker coming in hard.
You can feel it thump.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it thump. Like the one that hit me in the sternum, even with the pads that I had on, you can I can still feel just a little bit of my sternum.
Yeah.
It's not a deep bruise, but I'm wondering what it'll be tonight.
Did they you pose an imposing, figure,
Dude.
And so because I'm sure there's people that have done this before that are 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, like, oh, let's have some fun, and they're like, hey, we better take it easy. But when they saw you, did they anybody like, okay, all right, this is a little different. Let's have some fun here.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Anybody say anything to you like, oh, okay, we see what's going on here?
No, because they could see that I wasn't smooth on the skate.
Yeah.
So they knew if they, like, for instance,
moving around with that gear is.
Who put the move on me and I went down? Was that Coach?
That was Coach.
Yeah,
Coach. I got video of that, which was, and I'm sorry I laughed, but it was funny.
Coach put a move on me.
He did.
And I went down.
Just like a crossover kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like a sack of potatoes as he fought, but he blocked it.
I did block it. I laid out for it.
You did lay out and block it.
Hey, that's all that matters.
But it's not graceful.
All right, so did you get any feedback? We're like, hey, you were actually better than we thought you were going to be. Or...
Coach did say, he's like, it wasn't as bad as we thought. Because Nate Dowdle did an interview after.
Yeah.
And he was like, so what do you think? And he's like, it wasn't as bad as you thought. Like, you could tell that he's a former athlete, and he's got some athleticism. He's like, but you can also tell he's getting older, and you could tell he doesn't know anything about the ice. So it's a combination of the two.
Well, okay.
But I don't feel completely humiliated.
See, and that's I knew that there were a couple things you were concerned about. Number one,
injury.
Yeah. That was number one. And then, look, you're a proud athlete. Even any of us out there that have done anything, even at the high school level, you don't want to be embarrassed. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
And so
that's true.
When we've heard from the general Bill Armstrong, when we've talked to these players, when we talk to all these guys, and everybody's like, "Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do this."
Yeah. I can see why they say that.
Yeah. But now you're coming away from it, you're like, okay, it's better than I thought it was going to be.
It's better than I thought it was going to be, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad I have the opportunity.
No regrets.
Nobody gets that opportunity.
No. We're really fortunate. Yeah.
Like that's just an incredible chance in life to, that's like somebody saying, a NASCAR driver saying, "Hey, what do you think stepping in this NASCAR and taking a couple laps, hitting the pedal a little bit?" You don't ever get that experience. And having a guy that had played time in the NHL and has every record with the Grizzlies out there throwing pucks at you while you're fully loaded with the top end goalie gear.
Yeah.
At that level of hockey, that's an opportunity that I'll be grateful for my whole life.
Yeah, that's one you hold on to.
And it does give me a little perspective.
Yeah.
It's insanely difficult. I couldn't do any of the butterflying where they drop the knee.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do any of that.
Yeah.
That's insane mobility and flexibility. I just don't have it in me.
Well, one thing I don't think you're going to hear on this show is Hans Olsen saying, "You got to trade Veggie. You got to cut him. You got to get him out of here. He's worthless."
No. The guy's a bum.
When you play that, or when you try to get, walk a mile in those skates or skate a mile in those skates, and you're like, okay, never mind.
A whole different level of respect and understanding.
Yeah. You know who? Just hearing you describe this, though, the centerman who's got it, who probably takes a lot of deflections. I feel bad for that guy because he's not padded up like the goalie is, but yet he probably takes some off the chest and off the.
Takes a lot of heat, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I asked Jay, I said, outside of the goalie, because it's now pretty clear to me that the goalie is the most difficult position. Pretty much all around. It's just the most difficult. You bear the most burden and the most weight of a game. It might not be as physically exhausting, but you burn just sitting in a stance for an hour. You're burning bad. And so you that goalie, I think that is the most respected and kind of toughest position to play. Outside of that, I was asking Jay, and he said it's probably the defender.
Yeah.
Because in the NFL, it's the corner. The corner position is widely looked at as the most difficult position, non-quarterback position to play. And that's what it is in the world of hockey. It's the guy that's got to man up and skate backwards against McDavid.
Yeah.
And try to stay in front of him to at least deflect or crowd to push the puck off his stick.
Because really, the difference in that USA-Canada game in the championship of the Four Nations was that position. Just to slip up just for a second against the best player on the planet.
Yep. That's absolutely 100% right. And it was pretty incredible just to get out there and experience it.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that it went well, though.
But I do think that you're right. I think that the center position, I think it would probably be the most uniquely tough / dynamic position. And understanding that that's like Nick Bugstead, that's Logan Cooley, that's, your bigger names that you see, Barrett Hayton, that you see with the Utah Hockey Club, that's these guys.
Yeah.
That's the center. They do a lot of work. And they got to be a regulator because from what I understand, getting in that crease, right there in front of the goalie, that's where all the toughness is. It's the trench of hockey.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of respect for these guys, man.
Hans and Scotty, 1227, just getting started here on a Wednesday. Hope you're all having a good one. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll continue to get you ready for the Utah Hockey Club, Utah Jazz back in action as well. It's all straight ahead, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Greg Wyshynski, senior NHL writer for ESPN. How long should it take for a rebuild? And I've asked this question, and it does seem to put people on the defensive because the assumption is that it's taking too long. How patient should people be here, and how much does it pay off to be patient?
Patience is the virtue here because to be contending now this late in the season is great. You want that. You want fans to get excited about a playoff race and hopefully to get excited about a playoff appearance. But as far as making the playoffs or even being a contender to advance out of the conference, they've got plenty of time between the budget that the Smiths will have for this team in the next 2 years as far as talent acquisition and the foundation of young players they have. They're primed to do some really, really big things in the next 3 years.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
When you drive a Subaru, the destination is the journey. And there's no better place to start than at Doug Smith Subaru. Come test drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, a compact SUV built to take you on all your exciting Wasatch treks. And with its all-wheel drive and 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, getting there will be so much fun. You'll be ready to leave as soon as you get there. Doug Smith Subaru. No one knows adventure like Doug.
Hey guys, Jake and Ben here for our friends at Peach Doors and Windows. Listen, are you considering finishing your basement or turning your basement into a living space? Maybe you've got that young adult in your life who is moving back home. It happens a lot.
Yeah, maybe it's time for an update of your windows. Maybe they're drafty. Maybe they're not energy efficient. Maybe they're not to code for a fire escape. Are they letting outdoor noise in? Maybe it's time to call Peach Windows and let their experts see if they can transform your space.
Peach Doors is here to make the entire process smooth and stress-free. Visit their showroom to see their wide selection of wood doors, durable fiberglass, energy-efficient aluminum, oversized glass, bifold doors, and so much more.
Let Peach help you find the perfect match for your home, budget, and personal style. You can visit the showroom and see for yourself. There's no pushy sales tactics, only guidance from their excellent staff. There's no inflated markups just for so-called discounts.
You can check out their 5-star reviews where customers rate them on their attention to detail through every step of the process. Amazing home transformations begin with windows and doors, serving Logan to St. George.
Just Google Peach Building to see for yourself.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Have you been wondering what happened to Master Electrical Services? Where did they go?
You mean the Master Electrical Services that's been serving Utah since 1954?
Yep, them.
The Master Electrical Services that was the first to offer upfront pricing guarantee with no hidden fees?
That's who I'm talking about.
And 100% satisfaction guarantee?
That's right, Debbie. Master Electrical Service has joined Mountain Air, and together they've become Mountain Home Services.
This is great news because they can offer whole home protection, electrical, EV chargers, HVAC, generators, plumbing, and fireplaces.
Yeah, I love that new one, the fireplaces. You can find them online at mountainhomeservices.com. That's mountainhomeservices.com.
or at that same easy-to-remember phone number, 801-543-2222. Again, 801-543-2222.
Mountain Home Services is the company that we trust, and so can you. Remember, just check them out online at mountainhomeservices.com.
As a business owner looking to take your business to the next level, it's all about the right marketing. But what exactly is right for you? At 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone, we are ready to help you craft the perfect comprehensive strategy. Whether it's our powerful talent endorsements, engaging live interviews, creative production, live events, or our extensive digital platforms, we've got you covered with the right solution. Contact Stephanie Palmer today, spalmer@ksl.com, and let's grow your business together. Email spalmer@ksl.com.
Improve your circulation with Alpine Home Medical's new compression stockings in updated styles, colors, and fabrics. Call, click, or visit any of the 11 locations to buy 3 and receive a free care kit.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Listen every Monday morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with JJ and Alex for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
This is a Utah Jazz at 30 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It is your Jazz at 30 update right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jazz taking on the Wizards tonight. Kyle Filipowski trying to become a better shooter.
My coaches have been saying, that's not something that's easy to do. And in the beginning, it was very difficult for sure, kind of just starting from scratch, not even shooting threes, but then having to shoot threes in the games. My shot felt really discombobulated for some time, but I think kind of just the focus and work I put in with the coaches really helped a lot.
That is your Jazz at 30 update. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah. We've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Jaeger stole it. Whoa. Just took it away on the end line. Cross court, Richie. Richie, full head of steam, gets around Jefferson. Layup, good! Richie Saunders! Puts the Cougs up 19. Is TJ going to call timeout? Let it ride. Lipsy stops at the elbow. Out to Momcilovic for the tie. He got it. Again. He knocks it down. 9.1 to go. 68-68. Dallin Hall with 6 and with 5. Dallin with 4. Holds out to Richie. Richie to the baseline. Richie takes a bump, fades away, missed it at the horn. We're going to overtime. Tied at 68. 8, 7, 6. Lipsy, right wing. Lipsy bounces to Jefferson. Turned it over with 1 from half court. Richie! Oh, he missed it. He missed it from half court. A late turnover. We're going to a second overtime. Misses. Momcilovic from back court throws it down floor. Not even close! And the Cougs have done it. Survived it.
This team, man. This team. Wow.
Double overtime. Thriller.
Looked like it was going to be a blowout. Then it looked like it was going to be a monster collapse. But in the end, BYU gets it done. 2 overtimes. They go on the road. They knock off Iowa State in Ames. And don't look now, folks. The BYU Cougars, winners of 7 in a row, and continue to just roll.
Yeah, they're climbing. They're really good. How many times in your life have you seen 29 turnovers against the 10th or better team in the country, and that team come out with a win?
It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
That's 18 more turnovers by BYU. 18. 29 turnovers in that game. Now, that does include 2 overtimes, but going into the overtimes, they were having the turnover issues, and things just got worse.
Yeah.
So BYU fought through all kinds of turnover issues. They fought through percentages. They fought through giving up momentum to the tune of being up 21 points. What was it, 15 minutes left or so in the game?
They're cruising.
They're up by 21. And Iowa State comes pushing back. They never quit. They kept pushing back. Joshua Jefferson, very good player, kept getting himself to the free throw line, kept getting creative, was doing things defensively that Iowa State really needed in those moments. Lipsey is creative and was very difficult to deal with when Iowa State was behind and trying to come back. But in the long run, you had too many big moments from too many big players. But there's not a bigger moment by any player on the court, in my opinion, than Keba Keita and his chase down backside block.
Yep. Changed everything.
Changed everything. It was a bad inbounds pass. I don't know what happened with the inbounds, but Iowa State ended up with it free and clear at the half court. They were going for an easy dunk, and Keba Keita, who was about near the restricted line when the errant inbound pass came and went to half court, he was right around the restricted line. And he just goes, just takes off, and has a backside kind of jamming block off of a dunk attempt that was just awesome. And it's not like that won the game for them, because at that point, I think Iowa State was down 3. I think BYU might have been up by 3 or something, but it would have got them right there. It was the momentum that it grabbed. BYU's bench was going crazy, and everybody kind of reignited and reunited, and then you just had great performances in the moments. You know, it's not like Yegor Damon's overall game was brilliant, but in moments, Yegor Dimon was incredible.
I know. He's just a great floor general. He really is.
He is. He's great, and he's got a beautiful sense of the game. And he did bring the ball all the way up the court in the transition, put a move off the top of the perimeter, and got himself to a point that he could put off a nice, easy shot. It was like, geez, that was smooth. That was in one of the overtimes. It was like, geez, that was smooth. And then even more smooth was Dallin Hall bringing the ball up, hitting a crossover, and then hitting a step back 3. I'm sure you remember. I think that was one of the overtime. Might have been the second overtime. I think it might have been to start the second overtime, where he hits a solid crossover. He's got a chance to drive, but instead he hits the step back 3. And it was a slugfest, Scotty.
Yeah, 4 of 9 from 3. I'm really fired up for Dallin Hall in particular in this game, because even when things have been going really well for BYU, everybody's like, Dallin can't find his role on this team. How does Dallin fit in on this thing? It's been kind of a recurring storyline. And for him, I mean, all the accolades or all the attention's going to go to that alley-oop dunk that he throws down, where he showed the wink, sneaky athleticism. But the dude throws down the dunk, but it's the 3 ball. And again, the one that you mentioned, that step back 3 was absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
And he played with a level of confidence that we've seen from him throughout his time at BYU. But to score 22 points, he did turn it over 6 times, which the turnovers are a problem. I mean, they're a big problem for BYU that has to be addressed. Damon turns it over 6 times. Dallin Hall turns it over 6 times. 12 between 2 guys like that, you just can't have. But 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He did everything that you really needed him to do for BYU to win that game.
Speaking a bit to the turnovers, and I know you've seen this, and you've seen this 1,000 times. Certain officials are going to call games a certain way.
Yep.
I think BYU, one thing that they could have done is understood, okay, they're just going to let Iowa State play physical like this.
Yes.
They're going to let them hit across my arms, swipe at the ball, and they're not going to be really aggressive with the call, because they weren't. You saw Iowa State was getting right into the jersey of the BYU player. And there was a lot of contact and a lot of physicality, to the point where the officials didn't know when to call it, when they could, when they shouldn't, because they didn't want to just make this a free throw game. They wanted some continuity to the game. I think that there was a balance of them trying to let the game play out, but also telling Iowa State, whoa. Like, just give me 5 seconds to breathe so I don't have to blow this whistle. Because you saw Iowa State, they are aggressive.
Yeah.
especially when they were down and they were like, hell with it. Screw it. We're losing anyways. So we might as well fly into our guy. And I'm sure that was the instruction coming from the bench was like, if I don't see you start to play this game like hockey players play hockey, I'm pulling you off this court. We're either going to play physical or you're not playing, because they got really physical, and that's where a lot of those turnovers started getting forced.
Well, and this is good for BYU because that's how a Big 12 tournament's going to be officiated, and that certainly is how the NCAA tournament's going to be officiated. So there will be a lot of whistle swallowing going on when you get into postseason. And so for you to be able to learn how to deal with that, learn how to handle that, those are big lessons that BYU is going to have to work through and deal with, because you're not getting those calls in the tournament, whether it be in Kansas City, or is that where the Big 12 tournament is? Kansas City? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Whether it's in Kansas City or wherever they go for the NCAA tournament, you're going to get beat up, and the book's out on you. If you're physical, you can force turnovers, and BYU will turn it over. And so that's what teams are going to do. They're going to be overly physical with BYU. And how does BYU respond? Hey, they responded really well last night, even though they turned it over a bunch. But that number's got to come down. It's going to have to come down.
That number definitely has to come down. But if I were to put it into just terms of how this game was actually won, Keba Keita's backside block is just a small piece of the physicality that Keba was able to put on the court. And you have to have that size. And that really limited Tarori's play. You know, Foose, who's typically on the court quite a bit, in a double overtime game, only played 7 or 8 minutes. Keba Keita was the answer in that game, and so a lot of it comes down to that. But this is the one I circled that I really wanted to talk to you about, because this was something we asked Greg about, and Greg said, no, I think they're going to be okay. Richie Saunders with 13 of 13.
Perfect.
From the free throw line. And remember, it was Saunders that iced that Arizona game.
Yep.
He had to hit those 2 free throws. Yeah, everybody's upset about the whistle and when it came against Arizona, but he still had to step to the line in a very hostile environment and knock down 2 free throws. And last night was much of the same. There were a lot of crunch free throw opportunities that Saunders had to knock down. And it wasn't just Saunders. Everybody hit him down. 81% for the team.
Yeah. And on a lot of attempts, too. What, 26 of 31?
I think you're right, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of trips to the free throw line.
It's a lot of trips to the free throw line.
And Iowa State was 27 of 31. So, I mean, they were right there with them. BYU 25 of 31. Iowa State 27 of 31.
62.
62.
Yeah.
Bleh.
Yeah, 62. But you know, this is why I'm okay. This is why I'm okay in that game with these free throws. Number one, there was that level of physicality, and even then, I think they tried to limit some of the calls because they weren't calling a lot on Iowa State.
Yep.
Iowa State, you could have called them on almost every defensive possession the way they were closing out. They closed out so tight and so fast, you could have called them a lot. But the reason I don't mind it is a handful of those, probably 10 of those, were clutch. Like I'm watching, kind of holding my breath, like, oh my gosh, is he gonna miss these? Is Jefferson gonna miss it? Because Lipsy and Jefferson both had to knock down a set of free throws in order to keep them in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the same for Richie Saunders. And I'm trying to think if there was one other BYU player that had to knock down 2 that were just critical to 2 free throws. Those are actually kind of fun, Scotty. I don't know if it's fun to call. I've never called a basketball game, but when the crowd is quiet, if you're home, or the crowd is raucous and you're seeing a guy step to the free throw line, that for a win or for a loss, that's pretty cool.
It's way cool.
And for a guy to knock it down, you got to have some guts.
Yep.
I think it was Joshua Jefferson. Was it Joshua Jefferson that had to knock down the 2?
I believe so.
In regulation?
Yep, I think so.
Or the back end of first overtime, where he had to have them.
Bam, bam.
You know,
no big deal.
You don't get many games like that in your life.
Nope.
You know, where I'm looking over and my sweet baby Riley Fawn, my baby daughter, the youngest in the family, who's got a million things going on in her life, she sets her phone down and sitting next to me, and is nudging me saying, oh my gosh. You just don't get many moments like that.
Yeah.
Where Amanda, who doesn't, I think she's listened to a total of 2 of our shows in 11 years and doesn't give 2 craps about sports because that's all she does. That's all she's ever done. And the last thing that she wants to do is watch sports, and she's laser focused. And we're laughing our butts off, and we're like, oh my gosh, oh, what a crazy call. You don't get many times like that.
No.
Many games that you're sucked into like that. But 2 high-ranking teams leading the Big 12. You had a 4 seed for the Big 12 tournament on the line. BYU's going to have a bye week.
Yeah.
In their second year in the Big 12, they're going to have a bye in the Big 12 tournament as a 4 seed.
It's amazing. It's amazing this trip, the trip this team's on. And our guy Greg Wrubell talked about the journey they've been on since starting 1-3 in Big 12 play and where they're at now. It's phenomenal. You don't go on 7-game winning streaks in the Big 12 in this conference. You just don't. Teams don't do that.
Mm-mm.
And winning against Arizona, winning against Iowa State on the road. I mean, these are signature. One of those is a season signature win. BYU stacking them like they're pancakes. I mean, it's really impressive to see.
Yeah, and that 7-game win streak, 4 of those are on the road.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Tough place to play.
Arizona.
Really hard place to play.
Arizona State.
Yeah.
And
the granddaddy of them all last night, Iowa State.
Or was it Kansas? Is it Kansas?
They got Kansas at home. They blew them out in the Marriott Center.
So it was Arizona State?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then last night against Iowa State. There's 4 tough road games in that 7-game stretch, man.
Yep. Yeah, so it was
West Virginia.
And then they beat Kansas State and Kansas in the Marriott Center. Went on the road, swept Arizona and Arizona State.
On the road.
Yeah, West Virginia at home, and then at Iowa State. So your road games were in this winning streak. Your win games on the road were West Virginia, Arizona, Arizona State, and Iowa State.
Like you said, you don't stack those up in the Big 12.
Nope, you don't. You really don't.
And the nice thing is, you're in double overtime. BYU's still rotating. They're still rotating. They've got depth.
Yeah.
They can put Yegor Damon on the court for a little bit more vision, a little bit more finesse. They can put Dallin Hall on the court for a little bit more explosive, power-packed athleticism. They can put Keita on the court for just a little bit more graceful, big. They could put Fusi on the court for a little bit more power and control offensively. If you really want to push to the inside, you feel like you got a big man mismatch that you can push to the inside. Every once in a while, you're going to get a big 3 from Trevin Nell, and then Richie Saunders is the engine.
He really is. And again, that's not exactly what we thought, but here we are.
And Moat Mag is just a defensive doer.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need defensively. All right, well, Joshua Jefferson is getting off on us. Do something about it. All right, I got you. Now, there was a couple times Jefferson bumped him down. There was one, I think it was in one of the overtimes where he bumped him down and he was really good, but he held his own at times as well against Jefferson.
What you may have missed coming up next, Hans and Scotty. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Travis Hunter said that playing both ways in football is harder than what Shohei Ohtani does in baseball. A corner and a receiver, you're basically using the same skill set. Shohei Ohtani is playing 2 different positions that are completely unrelated. Being a good pitcher has absolutely nothing to do with being a good hitter. That's like being really good at algebra and poetry.
You're Leonardo da Vinci. You're not Stevie Wonder. It's like, yeah, Stevie Wonder's a great drummer and harmonica player and guitar player and piano player. Yeah, he's musical. Da Vinci being the greatest painter of all time and maybe our greatest inventor. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
What were you working with?
It's like Carl Lewis being good at the 100 and the 200.
What? How?
How is that even possible?
He's fast.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
America First Credit Union still is the leader in giving back to community here in the state of Utah. It's incredible. I get different emails from America First Credit Union in opportunities that I can come help serve the community with them. And it's backpack drives, and it's shoe drives, and it's food drives, and it's diaper drives, and it's taking care of school-aged children, making sure that they've got the gear that they need. There's so many great givebacks that America First is always involved in. And I love it because they partner with great people like Real Soccer. They partner with Real, and they make sure that Real is engaged and excited, and Real players come out, and Real front office comes out, and they all work together. That's America First. So they are there to protect your money, and I don't talk about this enough, just financial protection. Protecting that money, making sure that if I've got a debit card or a credit card through America First, I've got full access. I can always see what's coming in, what's always going out. I can set spending limits. If I'm out of town, I can set that I'm out of town. If I lose the card, I can pause the card. I don't have to cancel it. Like all of those things, great options. America First Credit Union. You can find one of the 115 branches at americafirst.com.
By now, you've heard Hans and Scotty raving about Bar W beef. But have you tried it for yourself? Build your own box with the cuts that you use the most and within your budget. They can deliver right to your door in Utah for $9.99 flat rate shipping. And right now, save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. Check them out online at barwbeef.com for the best steak and best beef you've ever had. Save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. barwbeef.com. No middleman needed.
A professional. What does that even mean? At Shamrock Plumbing, we believe a true pro does the following. 1, a true professional doesn't overcharge. They ask a fair price for exceptional work. 2, a real pro slows down to listen to the customer and what they need, not what the plumber wants to sell them. 3, a real pro can fix your problem quickly and not have to learn on the job. Hire a professional. Call Shamrock Plumbing. We'll send out some of our male models. They'll know what to do. Shamrock Plumbing.
I'm Rod with the Save Right team at Realty Path. I also own Save Right Mortgage. When building this new and disruptive business model, my attorney said, quote, "You'll rock the boat and make your competitors mad. There's no way they can compete with the value Save Right offers home buyers." She's right. Other real estate agents and mortgage lenders can't compete with Save Right. However, Utah home buyers love Save Right. Save Right home buyers get bankbuster loans with below market interest rates. Save Right clients buy bigger, nicer homes. Their monthly payments are hundreds less. Bankbuster loans save home buyers hundreds of thousands in interest. Start with a rate in the 2s. Call 801-APPROVE or visit SaveRight.com. Start with a rate in the 2s. Call 801-APPROVE or visit SaveRight.com.
As a business owner looking to take your business to the next level, it's all about the right marketing. But what exactly is right for you? At 97.5 KSL Sports Zone, we are ready to help you craft the perfect comprehensive strategy. Whether it's our powerful talent endorsements, engaging live interviews, creative production, live events, or our extensive digital platforms, we've got you covered with the right solution. Contact Stephanie Palmer today, spalmer@ksl.com, and let's grow your business together. Email spalmer@ksl.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
This is a Utah Hockey Club at 50 update on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
It is your Utah Hockey Club at 50 update right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Trade deadline coming up for the NHL. Andre Tierney has a different vibe this year's trade deadline as opposed to years past.
Well, we're 2 points out. That's what's different. It's up to be 10. You know, it's we're right there. We believe in the management and the ownership of the team. We know we're right there. We know how much they want to win and they want to succeed, and they want that team to go in the right direction. And I'm not saying it was different in the past. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying what will be done has to be done. It's out of the players or the coach's hands. Having that said, we have no reason to be worried right now about that. In our case, we're focusing on what we can control.
That's your Utah Hockey Club update brought to you by ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready, your trusted partner in emergency preparedness.
Number one. Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Kurt Heelan's going to join us coming up here in about 8 minutes from right now, which you may have missed right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm having a hard time not talking about what we're working on behind the scenes here. Because, you know, we're an open book here. We share everything.
Have been,
but,
for sure.
But, yeah, Nate was very quick in saying, keep your darn mouth shut. Don't say anything. Although this does feel like the end of us. In some way, shape, or form.
Might be.
We had a good run.
If you guys can just lock it down, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I really need you two to get your stuff together.
Yeah. Max Crosby's a very rich man. 3-year, $106 million extension with the Raiders, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
Man, I just hope it's not a waste of his talent. Am I right, Hans?
What do you mean by that?
He's just being with the Raiders with this bad team, just this bad organization, right? Isn't that what you wanted to say? Just wasted talent?
My hope is that that's not the case.
Are you trying to get out ahead of it? Is that what you're doing here?
Just a preemptive Hans.
Preemptive Hans?
No. As a Raiders fan, you know, you definitely don't want to see Max Crosby become a casualty of bad talent that surrounds him, but that's certainly what it's been for his time to this point with the Raiders.
That is a lot of money for a guy that's got a lot of miles on those legs. He's still young. He's young, but
he's only 27.
That is he doesn't take very many plays off.
Well, and but here's the thing: it's all about the guaranteed money. So I'm sure there's a big gap between the guaranteed and the actual $106 million. Oh no, there's not. 91 out of the $106 million is guaranteed. Woo! That's impressive.
Well, the way he plays the game is high mileage.
Yes.
So he's got 6 seasons under his belt. My guess is he'll be peak Max Crosby outside of injury. He'll be peak Max Crosby for the next 6 years.
Ooh, that might be, I don't know, at that position, yeah, you see guys into their early 30s still getting good production.
So that would put him at 32, almost 33. The next 6 years. And so I think he's got 6 years to be top 5 to top 8 in sacks in the league in a given year. So he's worth every penny. But I honestly, I would love to see the Raiders put something together. That's what, just find a quarterback because.
Hey, I guess Gardner Minshew, they're cutting him, right? They're releasing him?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, you've heard the latest rumor that was wiggling around yesterday. Aaron Rodgers. And look.
And Devontae Adams, by the way, because apparently Devontae Adams is going to follow Aaron Rodgers, which is just weird.
Well, I look at every QB option and I'm like, do something because the Raiders have not. How long has it been since the Raiders have seen the postseason?
It was like
3 years ago.
No, in 2021. It was 2021.
Yeah, Lloyd was there when they clinched a spot, I think, weren't you?
I was. Thank you, Scotty. It was great.
You are welcome.
But Max Crosby, he's worth every penny.
Well, you don't see a lot of guys that can single-handedly take over a game. Like that, just on their own. We saw Aaron Donald do it in the Super Bowl. But I have watched in person multiple Broncos games in which Max Crosby by himself ends the game. And as annoying as it is, you see Max Crosby just be like, no, I'm going to pretty much finish this game right now. I'm not letting them not only go down the field and score, I'm going to make sure they don't even get a first down.
He's a beast.
And so when he really locks it in, it's like, all right, we're done here. There's nothing left.
According to NFL.com, Raiders to release QB Gardner Minshew after one season with the team.
Yeah.
That was about 4 hours ago.
That's
so
Gardner.
That's going to happen.
So with Max Crosby, he missed 5 games. This last season, missed 5 games, still had 7.5 sacks. His biggest sacking year was 2023, 14.5 sacks in 2023.
7 of those probably against the Broncos.
Did he rip the Broncos in half?
Oh, yeah, every time.
He did.
And then the year before that, 12.5.
Every time. And Russell Wilson's just, yeah, come get me. Come get me. And then even Bo Nix has been the recipient of at least 2 or 3 of those sacks. But the Broncos did go 2-0 against the Raiders this year. For
yes,
the first
they did.
time in like forever since Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, they finally got some wins. This is their first wins against a team in Vegas.
I know. I'm very excited. All right, Kurt Heelan joins us next. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Take this wherever you go. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows.
Downloading.
Download the latest podcasts and get all the latest breaking news on the teams you can't live without. Everything you need delivered right to your phone.
Let's go get them where we can get them.
Just search KSL Sports on your app store of choice. Download it now. The KSL Sports app, presented by University of Utah Health.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You know what we call Tuesday and Wednesday at the Girard House? Beehive Mills Day, because that's the day that we have to do a little cooking, the boys, because Mama's got work to do. She's got clients to see. And so what do? Well, we throw in one of those Beehive Mills in the slow cooker so that when we all get home from practice and work and everything else, we have a great home-cooked meal ready to go.
You hear people talk about comfort food. Oh, that's comfort food. That's what Beehive Mills is. It's comfort food. It's all slow cooker food. And it's all fresh ingredients. It's incredible flavors. They always have it spiced up well. Scotty, these Beehive Mills are just so convenient. Just having to cut open a bag, everything's prepped, throwing it in a slow cooker, giving it a few hours depending on what dish it is, and then you've got yourself a fresh home-cooked meal. It's incredible.
It really is. Go to beehivemills.com. That's Beehive Mills, M-E-A-L-S. Get there now, beehivemills.com.
If you're trying to decide which gutter protection to put on your home, don't just ask how they'll handle leaves. Ask how they'll handle ice. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and that's right, ice. See, plenty of gutter guards are good at keeping out leaves, but most are made with flimsy materials that can bend, buckle, and break under the weight of too much ice. Kind of a big problem in an icy state like Utah, right? At RGS Exteriors, our exclusive gutter protection systems are built Utah tough. They're made with premium strength materials that hold up to 1,200 pounds of ice per square foot. Simply put, they're not going to budge. Our gutter guards are also certified to handle hurricane-level winds and rain. Mother Nature can't damage them. Guaranteed. Utah Tough Products. That's the RGS way. For a free estimate, call 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com or 801-280-3110.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claim's paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey Utah, it's the water boy here, Colson Firmage, a third-generation Culligan man. Does your water taste bad, musty, salty, or bitter? Well, say hello to the cleanest, pure-tasting water in Utah, Culligan water. Imagine having crisp, pure water delivered right to your doorstep. No more heavy lifting, no more last-minute store runs, just fresh, great-tasting water for you and your family. Culligan offers flexible delivery schedules to fit your lifestyle. Whether you need a few bottles or a full supply, we've got you covered. Join thousands of satisfied customers who trust Culligan for all their water needs. Our bottled water delivery is perfect for drinking, cooking, and keeping your family hydrated and happy. If you're worried about your water, get a free consultation. Call Culligan Water today at 801-509-9686. That's 801-509-9686. Or visit us online at culliganslc.com to start your delivery service today. Enjoy the convenience and taste the difference with Culligan. Culligan, water you love.
The Salvation Army's Harbor Light program helps people battling addiction rebuild their lives with shelter, recovery, and hope. My name is Alex. I found healing, and now I get to help others through the Salvation Army. Your donation makes programs like Harbor Light possible. Search the Salvation Army Utah to learn more.
The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to Hans Olsen and Scotty G. That's
right. Yeah!
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time to check in with one of our favorite dudes on the planet, Kurt Heelan, NBC Sports and ProBasketballTalk.com. Kurt, how are you?
What's up, Kurt?
Going, guys. All right. I just got to say this up front. As a guy who played a lot of years of rec ice hockey, I could score on hands. I could score on hands, no problem.
I don't know, Kurt. I'd come right out of the net. I'd come hit you. I'd come take you, but before you even get the shot off, I'm going to try to throw that forearm on you.
So I'll tell you the best story out of my years of playing rec hockey, or one of the ones I can repeat on the radio. This guy hey, my friend can play goalie. You're always looking for goalies. I'm like, yeah, sure. That's great. His friend shows up from school with the old, like your dad's hockey gear, like the oldest hockey gear you've ever seen. And we're like, oh man, this stuff is so, like, where did he get this? Why did he have this? He goes out, it turns out he played Canadian juniors in it, and he just smoked. He was so good. He was way too good for our level, and we won a title for a couple of years in a row because of him. It was awesome.
In the old gear, just smoking people.
Yeah, it was like, you're like, this guy can't be any good. He did, like, this stuff is so old. Then you're like, it doesn't matter. It was awesome.
We were doing a remote at a golf course, and they had us stationed out by the driving range. And this guy comes up, and he's decked to the gear, and Travis Matthews gear, has all the latest gear, and we're watching him at the driving range, and he's just spraying the ball all over the place. Just can't make contact at all. And then this old farmer with like a button-down shirt wearing Wranglers comes out with a 3-wood, and that's it, and is just lacing them right down, just boom, 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 boom. And it's like, okay, never mind.
Well,
never judge a book by its cover.
The comment that I made today, Kurt, because Jay Stevens, who he's still playing quite a bit, he called up Warrior, and Warrior is some of the top end gear, and they sent me basically the full goalie getup. And
nice.
I had about $4,000 worth of gear on, and I was talking with the head coach of the Utah Grizzlies here in I said, well, it looks like expensive gear helps you as much in hockey as it does in golf. So, and he laughed his butt off. He's like, yeah, pretty much, because I couldn't stop a thing.
No, I subbed in once as a roller hockey goalie just because of an injury, and I had the same experience. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, you think it doesn't look that hard. It's brutal.
Yeah, and but I watching those pucks come in at 80, 85 miles an hour.
Yeah,
want no part of that.
Yeah, how you feeling today, Hams?
I'm actually really sore right now. My quads and lower back, and I've got one bump on each arm, and then my bell is still a bit wrung. So
yeah,
it was rough.
I would imagine.
Yeah, it was rough. They threw some hard shots at me, but it was great, man. It was great. But I know it's going to be 2 days of paying for it.
A lot of ibuprofen.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, tell you what, I don't know if ibuprofen's going to help what the Mavs are dealing with right now. Now, Kyrie Irving out with an ACL. If you're a GM of a team, who would you rather be right now? Running the Dallas Mavericks or running the Phoenix Suns?
Oh, good God, the Phoenix Suns. Because they showed some life last night with that comeback, and they're not out of it. But also, I think the fan base realizes that the problems in Phoenix kind of started above the GM, where Nico's just taken the brunt of the angriest fan base. And by the way, I don't blame them. The angriest fan base in probably professional sports right now. Maybe I'd have to think about it. There might be a European soccer team or something that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But, man, it is they are livid with him there. And I think my favorite thing was when he showed up I go to the Lakers game out here when Dallas comes out, and the Laker fans start chanting, "Thank you, Nico." And you're like, oh, dude.
Well, it's just such an ugly situation, and he deserves it, frankly. He deserves everything that's coming his way.
He made it look. He made a big mistake, but trading Doncic was a horrible trade, especially for the long term. If Anthony Davis were healthy, they should still be competitive, good playoff team this year at least. They shouldn't have taken a huge step back this season, but the Davis injury plus every other center they own, and now this, they've just had a run of bad luck on top of everything else, and they're a mess. And by the way, if I were them now, I'd shut AD down. I'd shut it all down. If you hold on to the 10th seed, great. But, man, AD's is older, has a long injury of histories. Why are you pushing anything? Let's just focus on next season.
Is anybody looking at this Luka Doncic trade as possibly being the reason Kyrie Irving's knee goes? Because he goes up to 39.3 minutes over his last 10 games.
Yeah,
it put a lot of pressure on him.
That has come up. That is you asked is he 32 off the top of my head? 31, 32-year-old guy with an injury history to suddenly have to take on, and a guy who, by the way, in that left knee, that's the knee he had. If you remember, I think it was it was the 2015 NBA Finals where he had the kneecap fracture and the pins in it, and then he had to have those out a couple of years later because those were an issue. That's all the same knee. When you're asking that player to take on that kind of load, and it's the same with Davis, you're asking for these are guys with injury history. You got older and you asked for trouble, and it showed up.
Well, the other element to this is that, the NBA and an ACL, that's 12 months. The likelihood of seeing Kyrie next year is pretty limited.
Yeah, he's back at All-Star game-ish next year, first of the year. Anywhere from 9 to 14 months, kind of depending on how things go. So, yeah, he could miss most or all of next season. He's certainly not going to be there until mid-season at the earliest. And that's, again, now you even if everything else goes right, you've dug yourself a hole to start next season.
Now, just flipping this to the other side, has the Luka Doncic trade, has it reignited LeBron James?
He was playing pretty well right before that, but yes, absolutely. And I think what's key is, he's getting some. He's getting some buckets. He had 34 last night. he's certainly scoring. He's certainly playing at a high level. But his defensive energy is at another level. But he was not particularly good defensively early in the season. And part of it was simply that he had to carry the offensive load. With Doncic doing that, and Reeves has missed a couple games, but with Doncic and Reeves, LeBron can expend that energy on defense in a different way. And the Lakers have been really good defensively. I'm not as convinced that that's sustainable as everyone else, but in the short term, at least, like, they're a very good defensive team, and LeBron playing at an all defensive level is a big part of that. Like, he's been able to kind of soak up a lot on that end.
Kurt Heelan joining us, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. So, look, this is going to come across, I'm sure we're going to have somebody listening and be like, oh, you're being a homer for the home team. But I'm watching the Jazz play, and I filled in for David for a few games, so I called a few over the last couple weeks. And while they're losing games, yes, they are losing games, they're playing better. And they're seeing development. Isaiah Collier's playing better. Kyle Filipowski's playing better. Like, they're playing better. And I think it's kind of been a best-case scenario where you're still losing games, but you're seeing the development you need to see from guys. And so I think that's why Jazz fans are not up in arms like they would be maybe if they were losing by 30 in every game, because there's still a lot of fight out there. And, again, maybe I'm just trying to spin it so I can make this a little bit more palatable. But either way, it hasn't been bad basketball for the Jazz, even though their record would indicate that.
First off, I knew the radio broadcast sounded a little better for a couple of games.
That's what I want to hear.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. With this kind of season overall, I mean, going into this season with Utah, where you knew it was going to be a little rough, what you want to see is guys be better and grow into a system and figure out who can play and who can't. You got Collier at, was it 29 or 30, who fell way down the board. Is he real? Like, can he find his form again? Well, it looks like he can. And Filipowski was another guy who people were up and down on. Not everyone was as high on him. Finding out the guys who can play, figuring out the system, putting this whole thing together, that's the key. Like, finding out who can be part of whatever's being built. And do you still need to go look, I like those guys. Do you still need to go find your alpha, your star? Yeah, absolutely. But this is part of it. This is part of that process. And look, there's reason to be hopeful. I love Will Hardy as a coach. I love the assets you guys have built up. Like, the potential for turning this into something, it's going to take a couple of years, but the potential for this to grow into something real is absolutely there.
So I'm doing pre-half and post-game tonight for the Utah Jazz with Mike Smith and Tim Lacombe and a couple of the other coaches, and I'm going to be watching this Utah Jazz Washington Wizards game. Bottom of the East versus bottom of the West. So, Kurt,
do you want a flask?
Yeah, I do. I've got a hidden flask. It's actually the heel end of a boot that I bring in with me. But help me through this a little bit. Give me some thoughts. Washington and Utah, both at the bottom of the barrel in their given conference,
and both trying to find a path forward. Jordan Poole's actually played pretty well for them lately. They've actually won. I want to say they won 2 games in the last 2 weeks. They beat Brooklyn, and which when you're, as you guys know, where you are in the season, like, you can count the wins. They beat Brooklyn and Charlotte in the last week. So, like, they've won a couple. Like I said, Poole's been playing well for them, but they've got some good young guys who have shown moments. I like Bilal Coulibaly, the point guard who how everybody knows him. Yeah, he was drafted in the first round. He's the guy. He was that other guy on the French team with Wembanyama. Like, he's actually looking like he could be something. Alex Sarr has shown, who was a number 2 pick, has shown moments this year where you're like, hey, there you go. Like, that's the guy we're looking for. They're starting to show some level of development. I think you're seeing more of it in Utah, but they've played better of late, and that's kind of as an interesting matchup to go see in this kind of game where you're going to get a lot of youth on youth. Who has developed? Who has grown? Because this game, I think, means more than, like, some of these guys are going to play in summer league, and somebody like Filipowski might play 2 games in summer league. He might not even go to Vegas. He might just play in the Utah ones, because he should destroy that level.
Yeah.
Right. Like, in fact, it's concerning if he doesn't. he should, after a season of playing in the NBA, he should be able to be very good at that summer league level. But you don't learn a lot from being that dominant. You learn more from games like this where he's going up against other young NBA talent. So it'll be fun to watch.
I did get a text last night just as in preparation for this Utah Jazz-Washington game. Jordan Poole is not available. So we'll be looking further.
Okay. Well, so this is your chance. You can get that big win.
Yeah.
All right, Hans. It's all about the W.
Yeah, they traded Kuzma. There's no Poole. You got it. You got this.
Yeah, no Jordan Poole tonight. So it's
Kuzma's, by the way, sneakily playing since he started playing 30 minutes a night in Washington. I mean, in Milwaukee. They were like 7-2. They've actually played better. Not because I think he's all that good. It's just he's a better version of what Chris Middleton was, because Chris is barely moving anymore, and so it looks better.
So I ran into a member of a front office of the NBA, not the Utah Jazz. It was not Justin Zanuck, somebody from the Eastern Conference the other day, and I asked him, would you take if AJ DeBonsa was in the draft right now, would you take him or Cooper Flagg? And he goes, AJ, not even close.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was immediate in that response. So the reason I bring that up is if I'm Cooper Flagg, and I know, look, I get the game and I understand, your agent's like, oh, he may come back. He may think about coming back to Duke. Nobody believes that because I don't think he's a surefire number one pick next year, and that's something you always like to have next to your name for the rest of your career.
It absolutely is. Plus, you get paid more. The other part of that is, look, even if, and I off the top of my head, I'm not going to know what the rookie salary is for the first year number one pick, but it's going to be $10 million-ish, give or take. Even if Duke could match that with NIL for a year, now you're delaying starting the clock. Where you really make the generational money in the NBA is the second deal. And now you're just delaying that a year. And there's just no reason to. That I would be I don't know anybody around the league who thinks he'll stay in. I also know more people who've gotten higher and higher on him. So that's really interesting. I mean, I know people are really high on AJ. I'm going to be up in Portland for the Nike USA versus World Hoop Summit, where he is scheduled to play. We'll see what happens, but I haven't seen him in person, so I'm excited about that opportunity because everybody speaks highly of him, and the thing is, he's not even a lock in the number one in that class. Like that class is deeper than this one, I think.
Yeah. Kurt Heelan with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. How important is it when you look at the 14% for number one, number two, number three? Jazz, and we keep saying Jazz fans, like, hey, it's okay if you're not the number one. It's okay if you're not number two. It's okay if you're not number three, but you need to be one of those. If you want really that best chance of that number one overall pick. How much do your odds drop when you fall to 4 and 5?
Off the top of my head, I'm not looking at the numbers. I believe 4, you fall to 12%.
Okay.
And so it's a drop off, but it's not dramatic. And it's still above 10% for number 5. It might be at 10% around there. They flattened out those odds after Philadelphia's process tanking years where they were just so over the top about it. But you're right. I mean, look, it's 2 percentage points, but that's 2 percentage points. Like, it still matters. It's still helpful to have more ping pong balls in the hopper, so to speak. So it matters, but it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of, since they flattened it, there's been a lot of 5-6s, and the alternate is true. Detroit had the worst record in the league 2 years running, and had the 5th pick. So it is what it is. You can only control so much, but you try to give yourself the best odds.
Kurt, always a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's do it again next week.
Take care.
You got it. Kurt Heelan, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, coming up next, good, the bad, and the ugly, all straight ahead. You got the Jazz broadcast coming up tonight. Hey, you know what? It may not be overly a fun game, but at least you get to hang out with Timmy. That's all that matters, really.
Yeah, going to be a blast hanging with Tim. But no Jordan Poole. I think everybody else for Washington was available. And at this point, I'm excited to see Chris Middleton play.
Let's go.
But I am excited just to get up close with it and put my eye on some of this Utah Jazz youth.
Yep. Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Greg Wyshynski, senior NHL writer for ESPN. How long should it take for a rebuild? And I've asked this question, and it does seem to put people on the defensive because the assumption is that it's taking too long. How patient should people be here, and how much does it pay off to be patient?
Patience is the virtue here, because to be contending now this late in the season is great. You want that. You want fans to get excited about a playoff race and hopefully to get excited about a playoff appearance. But as far as making the playoffs or even being a contender to advance out of the conference, they've got plenty of time between the budget that the Smiths will have for this team in the next 2 years as far as talent acquisition and the foundation of young players they have. They're primed to do some really, really big things in the next 3 years.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome to Hockey 101, brought to you by Trucordia Insurance. I'm Cole Bagley, Utah Hockey Club insider for KSL Sports. Today we're talking about embellishment. Throughout the game, players may fall, but embellishment is called when a player embellishes a fall to try to draw attention from the officials. If a player gets tripped and an official feels the nature of their fall was a deliberate attempt to get attention, they will be given a 2-minute minor penalty. Hockey 101 is brought to you by Trucordia Insurance and Risk Solutions. You chase your dreams, Trucordia protects them.
Trucordia Insurance and Risk Solutions. You chase your dreams. Trucordia protects them. With national headquarters right here in Linden, Utah, Trucordia is centered on relationships. Relationships with their clients and the communities where they have such deep roots. Relationships with team members and businesses for an ever-expanding range of solutions. And relationships with national and regional carriers, providing competitive rates and enhanced market access. And Trucordia is proud to be a founding partner of the Utah Hockey Club. Another relationship right here in their own backyard.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And did you know that we get a bunch of service calls per year from people who didn't even hire us? That means they originally hired someone else to replace their siding, gutters, and windows. Then later, when a problem popped up, they tried to call their contractor back to fix it, only to find out that the contractor has ceased to exist. They're gone, done, out of business. At RGS Exteriors, we've been serving Utah for 70 years. As a fifth-generation owned contractor, we've got customers who are the grandkids of our customers we had in the 1950s and 60s. We're not going anywhere. We will be here when you need us, period. For siding, gutters, and windows, now and forever, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit at rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Hey guys, Jake and Ben here for our friends at Peach Doors and Windows. Listen, are you considering finishing your basement or turning your basement into a living space? Maybe you've got that young adult in your life who is moving back home. It happens a lot.
Yeah, maybe it's time for an update of your windows. Maybe they're drafty. Maybe they're not energy efficient. Maybe they're not to code for a fire escape. Are they letting outdoor noise in? Maybe it's time to call Peach Windows and let their experts see if they can transform your space.
Peach Doors is here to make the entire process smooth and stress-free. Visit their showroom to see their wide selection of wood doors, durable fiberglass, energy-efficient aluminum, oversized glass, bifold doors, and so much more.
Let Peach help you find the perfect match for your home, budget, and personal style. You can visit the showroom and see for yourself. There's no pushy sales tactics, only guidance from their excellent staff. There's no inflated markups just for so-called discounts.
You can check out their 5-star reviews where customers rate them on their attention to detail through every step of the process. Amazing home transformations begin with windows and doors, serving Logan to St. George.
Just Google Peach Building to see for yourself.
Bills stacking up at your HVAC system's gone. Gillette Services has the perfect solution. Install a new high-efficiency system and get a $1,000 rebate the very same day. That's right, $1,000 in your pocket just for upgrading. And the best bet, you don't have to make a single payment until 2027. Don't miss this limited time offer. Call 385-GET-HEAT for your free estimate. Gillette Services. Comfort now, pay later.
Carrier, turn to the experts. A Carrier factory authorized dealer.
At Doug Smith Mitsubishi, we're all about making life a little easier. That's why the Mitsubishi Outlander is the SUV for every carpool, with an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. You can drive with confidence knowing Mitsubishi has your back every mile of the way. So swing by Doug Smith Mitsubishi today and we'll get you into an Outlander that's ready for wherever the road takes you. Doug Smith Mitsubishi in American Fork. No one knows Mitsubishi like Doug.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Cold.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at KSLPodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files. Season 2, Justice for Joyce. And Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at KSLPodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a Utah Jazz at 30 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's your Jazz at 30 update, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Kyle Filipowski can play the 5. He can also play the 4. They're working him in all different places. And when he's at the 4, he can be on the court at the same time with Walker Kessler, which is something that he's enjoying.
I think that's fantastic. I love Walker. I love playing with Walker. Playing alongside another big. I think I have a lot of experience with that. So, kind of being able to work hand in hand with a guy like Walker, I think that could bring a lot of good things to the team.
That is your Jazz at 30 update. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, all brought to you by U of U Health, the official health partner of the Utah Jazz.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is your good, it is your bad, and yes, even your ugly.
Am I stinking you out a little bit?
No.
I didn't have an opportunity to go home and shower.
Haven't even noticed.
After the whole goalie experience. Okay, good.
No.
Because I was right. I was pretty right. I can smell myself, but I'm across the table from you.
No, you're all good.
Is that the same smell as a football smell?
Nope.
It's different, right?
Yeah, it's different.
It's pungent.
Well, it's got a little bit more of a bacterial smell in it, more of like a fungus bacterial smell. Football is a little more ammonia smell.
Yeah.
It's like a little more twingy.
Because you're also airing out those pads a little bit. Those people put all their hockey gear back in those bags, and it's just
it just sits there.
It's rank. It's
awful. I think it's loaded with mold.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to form some type of cancer off of it. But that, it's the price you pay to go play hockey.
Well, I mean, you can always say, I picked up herpes from some guy in the Maverick Center.
Jay did let you know that his shirt his jersey was not washed.
I love Jay. Jay is he's classic, man.
Dude's a man's man.
He pulled this jersey out. He's like, okay. He's like, I've got good news and bad news. I said, what's the good news? Everything is washed. I'm like, oh, good. He said, bad news is except for this jersey. And the jersey was ripe. It was wet and ripe.
Oh, that's all right.
But you know me. I'm like, hell, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah,
you don't care.
Throw it on, and we're ready to rock and roll.
I love it. All right, let's get to the good. Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin is just 11 goals away from making NHL history and breaking Wayne Gretzky's career goal record. So he thought, you know what? A lot of people are paying attention to this, so let's do some good here. He's partnered with Hockey Fights Cancer and the V Foundation for Cancer Research to launch the Great Chase for Victory Over Cancer, a campaign inspired by the Capitals' captain's pursuit of the record 894. So beginning tonight and every game throughout the rest of his career, even past the record, Alex Ovechkin will donate a dollar amount equal to his career goal total for every goal he scores for the remainder of his career. So Ovechkin's donation will then be matched by Monumental Sports and Entertainment, which owns the Capitals. So the next goal he scores will be 883 or 884. So he'll donate $884. Next one, he'll donate $885, 886, and he'll just keep doing that for the remainder of his career. And that will be matched again for a guy who's making a lot, $1 million. It's not a huge amount, but it is. Look, it's pretty cool.
He's at 883 right now?
Yeah. 11 away. He's invited fans to join the fundraising effort with a suggested donation of $8. Ovechkin's jersey number, which is number 8, or any amount they could give, they're hoping to raise in the span of about $8 million throughout the entire process.
$8 million?
Yeah, with his the matches, some other donations that they hope to get in from corporate donations and then fan donations as well. He says, there is so much attention to the chase, so I'm going to use that to help. We can all help and make cancer go away. Doesn't matter where you live. Cancer touches everyone. It's important for all of us to talk about finding a cure. And by the way, it's going to directly going to pediatric cancer research. So not just cancer in general, but pediatric cancer that's affecting children.
Ovechkin's a real deal, isn't he?
He really is.
All around. Great heart, great player. Here's a couple numbers. So Wayne Gretzky, 1,487 games, 894 goals. Right now, Ovechkin, 1,427 games. So 60 less games, 883 goals. 11 away with 60 fewer games.
Wow. I didn't know the goals or the games were that.
Yep.
I thought for sure he'd played more games than the great one, but I guess not.
Nope.
That's awesome.
That's kind of interesting. By the time he gets there, my guess is it's going to be 40 games or so, 30 or 40 games or so that'll separate the two when he matches that, and then at some point eventually beats it.
Cool deal.
But Gordie Howe was number 3 at 1,767 games and 801 goals. He was number 3.
And Gordie Howe, man, he was playing when you were taking those pucks off the face. They weren't wearing helmets back then.
That's a totally different.
That was a different era for sure.
Wearing the Jason mask.
Yeah. All right, 138. There's your good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
This story is pretty ugly. It's this guy in Orlando walks into a Tiffany company. His name's Jathan Gilder.
Yeah.
And he tells the Tiffany and Company employees that he was there for the Orlando Magic. And he said, there's a couple of guys that I represent on the Magic. I'm looking at a couple of different pieces that they could potentially purchase. So, of course, they assign him a VIP clerk. They take him to the back. They start to roll out some of their pricier stuff. And the man swoops up a couple of earrings and a couple of rings and runs out the building. Now, the story gets worse. So they're unable to stop him. He gets out of the building with about $770,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. $770,000 of jewelry. Well, the clerk is able to give the cops a really good detailed profile of the guy. They find him fast.
Nice.
When they found him, he gulleted it.
What, he swallowed the jewelry?
He swallowed the whole damn lot of it.
Because they're not going to get it.
He swallowed $770,000 worth of jewelry.
Oh, that's going to do some damage on the way out, man.
So, but the cops didn't know for sure, but they saw him kind of gagging and swallowing and gulping, and they're like, whoa, where's the ice, man? Where is it? And he's like, I never even took it. I didn't touch it. Well, of course, they rush him into the jail where they've got an x-ray. They've got a scan. They throw him up against the wall, and they scan him, and sure enough, nearly $800,000 worth of jewels sitting.
Did you say Jason?
Right in the esophagus.
Is his name Jathan?
Jathan.
Or Jathan? Okay.
Jathan.
Acting like Mouth from Goonies and just swallowing all the jewelry.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Boy.
Disgusting. Wait a minute. They call you Mouth, right?
I've never heard you talk less than this.
Oh, my goodness.
He's spitting the jewels out.
Wow.
So anyways, okay. So, obviously the story gets worse. He's in holding, and you know why he's in holding. Because they're going to have to sift through everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not something that you just.
How much does that diminish the value? I mean, you can hose that down with all the disinfectant and the soap and the water.
Nobody needs to know. Clean it.
Are they going to resell?
I
I mean, does it drop like, okay, well, what's the history of this piece? Well, it's taken an interesting journey down an esophagus through the small intestine.
It's had some ups and downs.
What's its clarity? Well, I'd say it's good to solid. Don't they have like different ratings for diamonds?
What was it? The 3 C's: cut, clarity, and something like that.
There's a couple in there.
You have to learn about that once. Hopefully, you only have to learn about that once in your life.
This guy's 33 years old. By that time in your life, if you haven't figured it out that you're the complete puke, lying about being an Orlando Magic rep, taking advantage of some probably 18, 20-year-old Tiffany and Company VIP associate, ripping jewels out of their hands, throwing them in the back of your mouth and come on.
At what point do you think that's going to work in your favor when you swallow that? You're like, oh, they'll never know. And then they're like, where is it? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't steal anything. And then later I'm going to go to the bathroom and say, really? You think you're going to get away with this nonsense?
You know what I'd do? Just because I think it's so absurd, I'd say, I'm sorry, we're going to go get that now.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Yeah, we're putting you under. We're going to get it out. No, just let it pass.
No.
We're going to cut open your chest.
That'll be a danger to you and the product. And let's just say, much like you and Peyton Manning, you're not worth the jewelry that's in your
stomach.
In your stomach right now. So if you die, you die.
So we're going to cut open your chest and go get it. Oh, you could go that way too.
You got Helga over there with the gloves. Snap.
There are options.
Either way, we're going to get it.
We're either going to cut it out or dig it out, mister.
What would you prefer?
What would you prefer?
You tell me.
Cut.
Yeah. Cut. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and cut this thing out.
Go ahead and cut that. All right, there's your bad. Let's get to the ugly.
And of course, the ugly.
NHL. Okay, so we're all about the NHL. We love the league. We love everything about hockey. We're really knee-deep in this thing with the Utah Hockey Club, but this seems a little silly. The NHL has fined New Jersey Devil coach Sheldon Keefe $25,000 for unprofessional conduct. You know what he did? He argued with the officials. Didn't curse, according to him. He just said that I thought it was a bad call. He goes, I get kicked off the bench for telling the referee that I felt that call was 10 times worse than the interference penalty that was previously called on us.
That's his side of the story.
That's his side. He goes, I didn't swear. I didn't say anything belligerent. I just told him that he missed that and missed it by about 10 times worse than the previous call that he had made. And he threw me out of the game. And the league has said $25,000.
Yeah, that's not how that goes in the hockey leagues. It's just not.
No.
This is reminiscent of that Real soccer coach.
Yes. I don't know what I said. And then we find out what he said, that was a problem.
Not only did you say it, you wrote it on a piece of paper and you handed it to him in the hallway.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah. You said it and you wrote it. Oh, that's not indicative of who I am as a person. And when you actually write it out, it might.
And I didn't know what that meant in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. I hear the Spanish players say it all the time. I didn't know.
Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah.
Like 6 or 7 years ago?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's been a while, though.
It's been a minute, and I think he's probably still feeling the ramifications.
Ramifications. Yeah, that $25,000 though.
That's a lot of money.
You didn't just say, "Well, I thought that was a more absurd call than the one before."
No. He said something.
He said, "I'm going to take a skate and slash you with it if you." He said something.
You think that penalty was bad? Just imagine what I'm going to do when I show up at your house with a skate and a hockey glove and a stick.
I've got your number,
Use
Gilbride.
your imagination.
You know I know where you live, Gilbride. You're on the back end of Minnesota. I fly through there 3 times a year. You never know when I'm going to show up, but you'll know by the scar you'll have on the back of your head. He said something.
Yeah. And what hockey coach who probably played the game and is probably tough as nails said, hey, I think you really missed on that call. I just don't think that's part of your vocabulary.
Hey, I got a hockey record. I took my skate off and tried to stab somebody. I'm the only guy who ever did that.
Are you excited for that sequel?
Oh, yes. I hate that I'm so excited, but it's because of Shooter. What?
I don't know.
Do you follow Shooter?
All the sequels have ruined.
No.
They've ruined. Dumb and Dumber?
Okay, that was bad. I never watched it because people said it was so bad.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
That was bad.
I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Now I'm just hesitant to do it.
Coming to America was horrifically
Didn't watch
bad.
it. I didn't see
that one.
I will say that, what was it I watched the sequel to that actually wasn't that bad? Beverly Hills Cop. Wasn't bad. But then again, I came in with low expectations. So that one wasn't horrible. But it wasn't great either.
Gladiator 2, Hans loved it. I hated it.
Well, remember, I gave it a 6.8.
Oh, I thought you were over 7.
7.2 maybe?
Yeah.
Because I thought that the storyline was pretty decent.
And when you told me the storyline, I was like, okay, that actually might work, and it didn't work for me.
That's rare that Hans liked a movie that you don't like. That's not called Fault in the Stars.
Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, sorry.
And
that's Fault in Your Stars.
And that dang movie. Well, that'll get you.
Well, everybody dies.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't ruin it.
No, cancer got him. I got them all. It just wiped everybody out.
What about these Creeds, kind of the rebuilt
I've enjoyed the Creeds.
Rockies.
I've enjoyed those.
I thought that they've been fantastic.
Go Cancer. Lloyd.
Yeah, I remember when you
when
you were really on that push. I was like, dude,
Cancer.
I said, you can't win with that, Scotty.
You were going on something with
dead end platform.
Okay, you know, I was making fun of Hans because Hans said we're having a benefit for cancer.
Support cancer. It was to support cancer. That's what it was. You said something about supporting cancer, Hans.
And then I make that, and I'm the one who gets hit with the drop. Cancer.
That was a losing platform.
Support cancer. Oh.
All right. Whole world news coming up next. Hans and Scotty. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Harlan has to nail this. He has to get it right. Who does he pick? Because Alex Jensen, if he wanted the job, that's the safe one. That's going to be popular. He's going to win the press conference. It's the safe pick. But he, I would guess, doesn't have a ton of confidence in Alex Jensen, or he would have hired him the first time.
My thought is if you're going to get rid of Craig at that point, you better have a real good understanding of who your candidates are. Alex Jensen or Andre Miller. And I think it will be one of those two.
Or does he pick somebody that he thinks is going to win? I think he's in a really complex spot because he's got to get this right. Listen to all these people come on and say Alex Jensen is the dude. He's going to lose the press conference no matter what if he hires someone else. Give me a guy who's going to win. That's who Harlan should be hiring. Maybe that's Alex Jensen, maybe it's not, but that's who he needs to hire. He's in a weird spot.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All right, folks, it's rainy season. Snow still coming, but we're going to get a lot of rain in the spring, and you want to protect your home during the spring storms. Well, you got to make sure your roof is up to par, and IWC Roofing Hands is going to do the best job. They're going to provide not only the best roof with the best warranty from a company that's been doing it for a long time. They're going to give you a great price, and they can knock that bad boy out in a day.
Yeah, one day, 24 hours, and that cannot be said for a lot of roofing companies. There's a lot of roofing companies that might start your project, might take them 4 or 5 days. They might get hit in the middle of a rainstorm, and it leaves your house exposed. But because IWC is the #1 rated roofing company in the state of Utah, they're the #1 rated roofing contractor. Because of that, that means that the job is done efficient, quick, clean, using the best products and giving you the best price. And all I want you to do is put the phone number in your phone. Put Josh, because Josh is our guy. Josh, roofing guy, 801-232-5690. If you think you need a roof, if you've got a roof problem, and it's not about just even putting on a whole new roof. I had a shingle that was floating in the wind. I called Josh. I was like, Josh, this thing's thumping all night long. What do I do? Josh goes, just go get yourself some double-sided Gorilla stick and go up there, and you could put it. He said, "I'll save you the money, the cost on a trip, because the trip would have been like $75."
Yeah,
He's like, I'll save you the cost on a trip. It's double-sided, Gorilla Glue, just stick it down. I did it, and it's worked. Hadn't had a problem since.
No.
That's why I love these guys. They're going to save you if they can save you, but if you need a new roof, they're going to give you a big-time discount.
IWCRoofingUtah.com. Get there now and check it out. They'll save you a ton of money as well. IWCRoofingUtah.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Salt Lake City Fat Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections. No prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to slcfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Jeremiah Jensen here. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. This program will get you results. Alex Curie here. I've dropped 60 pounds on the SLC Fat Loss plan. And right now you can get $200 off of the SLC Fat Loss program. It's a no-brainer.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
What's better than a credit card with a low interest rate? How about one with no interest? For a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa, you'll enjoy 0% APR purchases for the first 6 months. Yep, all that buying power and not a single cent of interest for 6 months. That means no interest on summer fun, no interest on back-to-school gear, and no interest on holiday shopping. Interested? Then hurry to americafirst.com to apply for yours today. Introductory variable annual percentage rate. Membership eligibility terms, creditworthiness, and conditions apply. See americafirst.com/visa for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
Great teams don't leave success to chance. They prepare for it. And if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that emergencies don't wait for you to be ready. ReadyWise gets it. You've seen the empty shelves, the supply chain delays, the panic of trying to find the basics. That's why ReadyWise is here to help you plan ahead with emergency food supplies and survival kits you can count on. ReadyWise meals are highly rated and available in a wide variety of options with a shelf life that is long enough to outlast the next big shortage. And preparation, so simple it's practically foolproof. Whether it's a storm, a blackout, or another unexpected twist, ReadyWise helps you avoid the scramble. Because when life throws the unexpected your way, being prepared isn't just smart, it's essential. So don't wait for the next big event to catch you off guard. Be wise. Be ready. Visit ReadyWise.com today. Save 25% off your order when using code KSL25 at checkout. That's ReadyWise.com and code KSL25.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Listen every Monday morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with JJ and Alex for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
This is a Utah Hockey Club at 50 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It is your Utah Hockey Club at 50 update right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Ollie Mata, who joined the show yesterday, signing a 3-year extension and was fired up to do that to remain here in Salt Lake City.
I've obviously talked to guys who've been here before, and they rave about how good the locker room is here, how good the organization is now. And I think right when I got here, you can feel it's a first-class organization. I think it doesn't feel like it's a first-year thing at all. It's always been going the right way.
If you missed that conversation, make sure to catch it on KSLSports.com, or better yet, just go to whatever podcasting podcasting platform you prefer and just search Hans and Scotty, and you'll get it right sent to your phone, tablet, whatever. It's KSLSports.com. This is Hans and Scotty. That update brought to you by ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready, your trusted partner in emergency preparedness.
Go! It's time to span the globe for the hard-hitting news you care about. Well, not really. But hey, at least we found it interesting. This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world.
It's not a date. It's just a couple of guys going out to support cancer.
Go cancer. I feel vindicated.
Oh, do you?
You're just a couple dudes going out supporting cancer. But
Why'd you have to play the whole thing, man?
Sorry.
Scotty's cut was better.
Yeah.
Well, his cut is much better. Just him saying, go cancer.
You and Man Crush going, let's go cancer. Oh, great. Now that's going to become a drop. Shoot.
Play that one back.
Yeah. Damn it.
It was a fun night of raising money to find a cure against cancer.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Well done. All right. Let's go to Vatican City, Hans, for another edition of Whole World News. Apparently, the archives of the Vatican is just enormous, and all kinds of books that are centuries old. Well, they stumbled on a book that's 900 years old that has done a remarkable job of predicting and the description of each pope that has been announced since. So everybody's been like, oh, this thing's...
It's 900 years old.
900 years old. And the description of how they feel like every pope that would be coming down the pipeline would look like has been fairly accurate. So this ominous book, now it's called The Prophecy of the Popes. It was written by Saint Malachi in the 12th century, and it has contained a series of Latin phrases that are believed to describe every pope, ranging from one in 1143 and concluding with the current leader of the church, Pope Francis. But here's where it gets a little creepy. It also says, it also is said to predict the day of judgment, when Christ will return to the earth to figure out who will be saved and who will be damned. The saint said that day would occur in the year 2027. So we're just a couple of years away.
Why'd that give me chills? That gave me chills for some reason.
In the last passage of the text, in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, in which the 7 hill city will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people in the year of our Lord, 2027. The end.
Ooh, that is wild. You know, there's 266 popes, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that there's been 266 popes. You go, that's the history, the Pope history is just insane. And to have it draw out to that point, this is a book that's 900 years old. What book is, I got to read this.
I don't know if it's available for just average Joe Schmuckatelli to read, but it's called The Prophecy of the Popes.
Look at you go. Well, 266.
How many is it?
266.
So are they looking for what? Number 267 now? Because
Homeboy right now is not doing well.
Not doing well at all.
Yeah.
But the Pope history is, if you've got patience and time, the history of the Pope is just incredible.
Pretty sordid. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's some really good times and there's some really dark times.
Oh, yeah.
In Pope history.
There's this thing called the Crusades that weren't probably Christianity's finest moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Some tough times. Now, but this is eerie. I hope that they're more accurate than the Mayan calendar.
The 2012 one?
Yeah.
That one missed quite
badly.
Yeah.
But they predicted rapture, not Christ's return.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They just predicted the end of all
everything,
existence. This is just saying Christ is coming in 2027.
Correct.
Well,
that's when Judgment Day. So,
Lloyd, get some things in order.
You got to feel fine. I'm actually feeling really confident. To be honest with you.
Hey, by the way, is this where you want to be when Jesus comes? That's what Lloyd always tells us when we're doing something that
when you're making bad decisions,
we shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
Okay, but it does give you a little bit of a 2-year ramp up. So, if you need to get something out of your system and go on a wild tear in Vegas or something like that, you can get it out of your system now, and then you got a year and a half or 2 years to get right.
That's just crazy, man. 2027.
Yeah.
I got so much I got to get off my chest. You got a minute?
Sure. Oh, for this?
Got a curtain?
Blow out the break. Let's go.
Going to throw some Hail Marys my way?
Yeah.
I mean, let's get this taken care of. 2027 is going to be here quick.
Oh, I know. Right before you know it. That'll be our 13th year of doing the show together.
I can't believe that. But the reason I had any kind of background on popes, I was running some.
You were considering being a religious anthropologist?
Thinking about heading that way.
Yeah.
But no, I was looking at Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint prophets. I think there's been 17 or 18.
Yeah, we're a ways away from 226.
And I just wanted to put it in comparison to the history of the Pope. It's
like comparing
quite the difference.
It's like comparing Europe, how old Europe is to like America.
Yeah, that's why I got to get to Europe, man. I got to go see some of that history.
Matt, did you just refer to the Pope as homeboy? Maybe.
Did you call him homeboy?
I just said homeboy's not doing well right now.
You did call him homeboy. You did said homeboy.
All right, 202, Hans and Scotty. Things you can only get away with in Utah. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Want to get the latest info on Utah's newest sports franchise? Sign up for the Utah Hockey Newsletter. Exclusive analysis, plus the latest news and notes on the Utah Hockey Club. Sign up today at KSLSports.com for the Utah Hockey Newsletter. Brought to you by Quantum Fiber. Get the latest Utah sports headlines delivered to your inbox with the KSL Sports Newsletter. From the Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, BYU, Utah, Real Salt Lake, and more. Be in the know of all things sports in the state of Utah. Visit KSLSports.com to sign up for the KSL Sports Newsletter.
When you drive a Subaru, the destination is the journey. And there's no better place to start than at Doug Smith Subaru. Come test drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, a compact SUV built to take you on all your exciting Wasatch treks. And with its all-wheel drive and 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, getting there will be so much fun, you'll be ready to leave as soon as you get there. Doug Smith Subaru. No one knows adventure like Doug.
Why are we giving away free furnaces? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and the answer is simple. March is slow for us, and we want to keep our guys happy and working while the weather's mild. During the month of March, when you have Any Hour Services install a new air conditioner, we'll give you a new furnace for just the cost to install it, about $400. The furnace is free. You just pay the labor. All you have to do to get more information is schedule a free estimate. Call Any Hour Services today at 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
By now, you've heard Hans and Scotty raving about Bar W beef. But have you tried it for yourself? Build your own box with the cuts that you use the most and within your budget. They can deliver right to your door in Utah for $9.99 flat rate shipping. And right now, save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. Check them out online at barwbeef.com for the best steak and best beef you've ever had. Save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. barwbeef.com. No middleman needed.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424. 424.
With 415,000 Utahns and 1 in 6 Utah kids facing hunger, Utah Food Bank, Macy's Grocery, Lee's Marketplace, and Lynn's need your help to fight hunger statewide. Simply fill a bag with non-perishable food donations and put it at your doorstep by 9 a.m. on Saturday, March 15th to support the Feed Utah Food Drive. Donations will be picked up by volunteers and can be the difference between hunger and hope. Learn more about how you can be a part of this statewide effort at utahfoodbank.org/feedutah.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Code.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at kslpodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files, Season 2, Justice for Joyce, and Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at kslpodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Utah Hockey Club takes on the Detroit Red Wings Thursday at 5 p.m. Catch all the action on the KSL Sports Zone. Sponsored by Quantum Fiber. Your life moves fast. Quantum Fiber internet is faster. Move up on tomorrow's speed today. QuantumFiber.com. The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Looking for the latest on the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies? Yeah. We've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Misses. Momcilovic from backcourt throws it down floor. Not even close! And the Cougs have done it. Survived it.
This team, man. This team. Wow.
Double overtime thriller at Hilton Coliseum. 88-85 is your final.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Agree to disagree. Hey, let's give away some tickets, shall we? Call number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. You win tickets to Hardy, May 29th at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Hardy's Jim Bob World Tour with Co Wetzel, Stephen Wilson Jr., and McCoy Moore. Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater, May 29th. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
So I just saw this tweet from Seth Davis.
Yes.
He said, not sure people understand that BYU is a legit Final Four good team. The knock on this program used to be that it couldn't win on the road, but Cougs have done that repeatedly, including two of the toughest gyms in the country, Arizona and Iowa State.
Correct.
Take note, bracket filler outers. So Seth Davis thinks that BYU is a potential Final Four type team. The way they're playing right now, why not? As gritty, tough as they play right now,
yeah,
they could be anything that they want to be on any given night.
So you're telling me a neutral site is going to be harder than taking on Arizona in Tucson or Iowa State in Ames? It won't be.
No way.
Not even close. So, I mean, yeah, and those are two of the best teams in the country right now.
Yeah. So you wonder what the matchups are. And, I think that right now you've got a coach that understands matchups and understands the way to attack and understands the way to get momentum back, what you got to do to get momentum back. And that was one of the things that was just awesome last night. Iowa State's making the run, and BYU is still hitting some shots that were momentum breakers. Richie Saunders hit one that broke insane momentum. I want to say that Iowa State was on something like a 21-7 run or 21-8 run, and Richie Saunders hits a three. Dallin Hall with the alley-oop, that insane dunk that brought momentum. Keba Keita with his trailing block that was a momentum grabber. Like, this team understands momentum. They know how to grab it when they can grab it. Now, given that they got distracted, and that's a tough place to play. And Iowa State's a very good team, and they did make the comeback from a 21-point deficit, but it still showed a lot of character to be able to finish that off in double overtime.
A lot of character, and it showed exactly what Kevin Young's been building here for a while over the last year, and it's just been kind of a slow burn throughout the season. Didn't start out the way they'd like. A couple losses, including to Utah at the Huntsman Center, but I don't know what the line is for that Utah game coming up on Saturday, but it's going to be heavy, heavy BYU in the Marriott Center. Last game of the year against the Utes, who are reeling after letting go of their coach. That's going to be no bueno, man.
What's the most important thing in tournament play?
Guards.
Guards shooting becomes the most important thing, you think?
It's
a scoring guard?
Yep, the line is guards in March.
Well, how about a scoring forward like Richie Saunders?
That certainly helps. Yep.
A guy that now you saw Richie. What's interesting is you're closing out on regulation, closing out on overtime, and it's like give it to Richie and let Richie either get the basket or get to the line. And it puts teams in really tough positions. More importantly, it puts officials in tough positions because they called it against Arizona and they put him at the line because they say he got bumped at the hip, and everybody's like, that's not a bump and that's a terrible call. Well, actually, you go back and you watch the replay, you watch the slow-mo, and there was movement, and there was hip adjustment, and there was a bump. Now, whether you call that with 2 seconds left or not, that's a story for another day, but I think you got to call it. But regardless, the fact is, you put it in Richie Saunders' hands, he gets a little bit of momentum. He's tough to stop.
Yeah.
Whatever he is, 6'5", 6'6", 220, 230, whatever his overall build and stature is, he's tough to stop.
And he can play. He can match up against guards. He can also essentially play the 3 or 4. I mean, there's so many things with his versatility that he can do to be able to shoot it from the outside, but then take guys off the dribble. He's a matchup nightmare for teams.
The other thing that'll help you in tournament play is there was one play late where Yegor Damon rotated out to the corner and knocked down a 3. And when the 3 hit, I was like, is that Yegor? Because it was such a smooth shot and it actually hit, and you're like, that's Yegor? So if he can do that consistently, which, he's showing better shooting now than he was in the first part of the season, which you would expect that because he's just a baby. He's just a pup. But if he can kind of figure out that, oh my gosh, I'm a lottery pick and I need to go own the NCAA tournament, then Yegor can make a big difference. But I kind of see Dallin Hall as being a tournament-type player.
Yeah.
That's the way I see Dallin. And Dallin's been on the court to finish a lot for BYU.
And was just tremendous last night. And because I know he's still super young, but he's experienced. He's a return missionary, so, he's a little older in age. And I think he's the kind of guy you're going to want on the court in those pressure-packed moments. Now, I know he turned it over 6 times last night. Jaeger turned it over 6 times. That's got to get cleaned up. There's no doubt about that. You can't be having 20-plus turnovers in an NCAA tournament game. You'll get destroyed when you play some of these upper echelon teams that are all dialed in, knowing it's one and done. So that's an element that's got to be fixed. But I do trust Dallin Hall in those pressure situations. I do trust Yegor more throughout those situations. So I think I'm telling you, you need to be careful about those expectations. It's all about matchups. And when that bracket gets released a week from Sunday, we'll have Ken Pomeroy on and we'll dissect the bracket from every angle. And it is about matchups. That's 100% what it comes down to. But right now, there is not a team in college basketball playing better right now than BYU is.
Okay, so let's say BYU finishes out the regular season with a win against Utah. And let's just, for the sake of conversation, just so we can kind of put some emphasis on it, they get 1 win and bumped out of the Big 12 tournament. 5 seed?
5 seed. That's what I would think. Now, look, I also thought they'd be higher, too, after this last weekend, and you look at Lenardi and you look at
higher seeding or higher ranking?
Higher seeding, sorry. Yeah. And they weren't really. They kind of stayed at that 8 line. Yeah. So maybe I'm giving them more credit. The bracket guys a little bit more credit. But I also and remember last year they were a 5 seed, but they got moved down to 6 because of Sunday play. Mm-hmm. So take that with a grain of salt. Understand that's going to work against BYU a little bit. Sometimes it can help BYU. Sometimes it can hurt them. Last year it hurt them. They slid down a whole seed because of that. So that could come back and bite you in the butt a bit. So that has to be taken into consideration. So where does BYU line up when it's all said and done? Well, the committee is going to put a huge emphasis on road wins. Okay, well, they've got quad 1 wins on the road against Arizona and Iowa State.
These 4 road wins in this 7-game stretch are really impressive.
They're going to look at how you're playing right now. Nobody's playing better than BYU is right now. They're going to look at your computer numbers. And BYU, let me pull up the latest Ken Palms. BYU is number 23 in the latest Ken Palm numbers. And net right there as well. So, again, everything right now is screaming 4 or 5 seed for BYU. Now, whether the committee does that or not, I don't know. But they should.
Yeah.
They absolutely should.
What if they don't get a tournament win? Does that change your mind much?
Look, don't you think BYU had a great year last year, first year in the Big 12. They should have been a 5 seed. They got pushed down to 6, but they got upset by, was it Duquesne in the first round? And that spoiled the season a bit. Yeah. So, yeah, if BYU loses in the first round again, that will diminish a little bit of the shine on this season.
My hope, man, I hope this happens. Give me a Big 12 tournament rematch between BYU and Iowa State.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Give me a Big 12 tournament rematch. I want this team, and I want that matchup again. This was a very physical game. That's as much physicality. Iowa State plays tight, and I felt like the refs, for the most part, they did not call a lot on Iowa State. Iowa State did a lot of beating up, like jumping on top of dudes and really getting physical. And I think that the refs tried, but I think they thought to themselves, geez, we've already put them at the line 30 some odd times. How many times can we put them at the line? Because these guys played really tight and physical. And what was great was watching Kevin Young figure out how to get past that physicality. You know, some of the fake picks and rolls and fake gives and you keep, because guys are pressing so hard and running so tight that you're able to find a little bit of room on some of the fakes. And you could see that he was getting creative. He was making some adjustments based off what Iowa State was giving him. I want the rematch because I actually think BYU in a rematch setting is going to do a better job than even in the first go, especially if that rematch isn't in front of Ames' finest.
You haven't put those 2 words together before.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. We shouldn't be knocking on Ames. I've never been there.
But Ames,
nor do I. Did you go to Ames? Have you been there?
No, not yet.
You haven't called a game at Iowa State yet?
Nope, not yet. But I felt like there was a bit of home cooking. Obviously, there is. You know,
yeah,
there's home cooking.
There's home cooking when BYU plays in the Marriott Center. That's just how it is.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So that's a tough place to go win. And you had a 21-point lead. That's how tough it is. You had a 21-point lead. You go to double overtime. But to be able to sneak out the win in double overtime when Iowa State had got the momentum back, I just think it's gritty. So I don't put anything past this team. Tell me an area that they can't possibly match up against anybody.
There is none.
Because I think with Moat Mag, Keba Keita, Fus Traore, I think that those 3 are kind of dynamic, different types of defenders that you can roll and throw at anybody. And I think that Richie Saunders' hustle and then Dallin Hall's kind of, it's a different twist. Dallin Diego is such a different twist for teams to try to manage. I just look at this roster and this team and this coaching staff and I say, okay, anything's possible with this group. 7 straight wins in Big 12 play to finish out a season. 8 once you get past Utah.
The only thing that can be somewhat concerning for BYU is defensively in Big 12 play, they've had some struggles. Now, if you just isolate Big 12 numbers, they've got the second-ranked offense in the Big 12. They've got the 10th-ranked defense. They've got they're number 1 in effective field goal shooting percentage. They're number 10 in defense. They're number 13 in turnovers. In their three-point shooting, they're number 2 in three-point shooting in conference play. They're number 12 in defending the three. Shooting from 2, they're number 1 in shooting from 2. They're number 11th in defending the 2. So if there is one concern that you would have about BYU, it's on the defensive side. Now, here's the thing. This is all of Big 12 play. I have not isolated what the last 7 games look like, and I guarantee those numbers are quite a bit better if you just isolate the way that BYU is trending over these last 7 games. So take all of those numbers with a bit of a grain of salt because they're playing much better as of March 4th than they were as of, January 18th. Mm-hmm. So, again, you have to take some of this out of it and just look at the recent trend. But defensively, BYU has gotten better, but they're still nowhere near where they are at offensively. They are an elite offensive team in college basketball.
Yeah. Oh, it's evident. They've got so many different areas that they can attack from.
Yeah, and that's what's been fun about Kevin Young, back to your point, is that Kevin Young looks at, you wonder how an NBA guy is going to make it at the collegiate level. Mm-hmm. Because an NBA guy, it's more about who's got the best talent. You roll them out there, let them do their thing. And at the college level, you got to be a little bit more concise in your sets. You've got to run more exact plays. You just can't say, all right, everybody 5 out and somebody go out there and create.
Yeah.
Some teams can get away with that. I don't know if BYU's at a point where they can. I think they will be next year. But this year, not so much. You have to run sets. You have to be creative in what you run. And to your point, Kevin Young is shown to be a very adept. Now, I think Chris Burgess deserves a lot of credit for this as well, and the guys on his staff. But they've got some really cool stuff that they've ran throughout the course of a game to get guys good looks.
Yeah. This team's exciting, and I cannot wait to see Big 12 tournament play because who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's so exciting for me, typically I'm at this point in a college basketball season, and I'm really engaging in football, spring ball, because I'm just trying to get away from it because it's West Coast Conference play.
Yeah.
And Utah was straggling in Pac-12 play. And Utah State, a lot of times, was the staple. Utah State was winning a Mountain West Conference and ranked high in the tournament play and all that kind of stuff. But I got so sick of the West Coast Conference.
Yeah.
Because every year you were like, oh, well, BYU's got to find a way to get an outright West Coast Conference championship. Nope.
Never could do it.
Well, now BYU's got themselves as a 2 seed in conference tournament play. It's time to get over the hump and get a West Coast Conference tournament victory. Nope. And you could almost count on it. And I look at this team and this 7-game win streak that they're on, and I'm like, okay, so is this the team that breaks through tournament play? Because it's always felt like BYU just sucks at tournament play.
Yeah.
And it's not coaching continuity, because this goes back to when I was playing football at BYU. It's the last conference tournament they won. I was playing at BYU. It's nearly 30 years ago.
Yep.
If it isn't 30 years.
I think you're right. Because remember last year they beat Central Florida in the first round and then lost by Texas Tech to 14.
Yeah.
By 14 in the Big 12 play, and then lost to Duquesne. I don't think they've got a tournament victory since Jimmer played in the NCAA tournament. I might be wrong on that.
Oh, I thought there was one. I thought that Pope got one.
Did Pope get an NCAA tournament win? I'm not sure, and I apologize. I should know off the top of my head. I'm looking. There's a loss to UCLA. Let's see, 2021. Yeah, that was the loss to UCLA. 2022. That was the NIT. 2020. No. Nothing there. They lost to St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference. 2019, they lost to San Diego in the West Coast Conference, and that was Dave Rose. So, yeah, Pope did not have a win in the NCAA tournament.
Pope didn't have a tournament win.
Nope.
Man, I would love to see this team be a tournament team.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a regular season team and a tournament team? Is it guard play? It's shooting?
It's shooting, and it's guard play. Yeah. And when I say guard play, it's not necessarily guard shooting. It's just guards that can handle the pressure, that can get to the rim, get to the free throw line, that can shoot, that can get you into your offense, because it's going to be super duper physical. And that's, Big 12 play, take what you saw last night and times it by 2. That's what you're going to get in the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah. It's going to get, but that's why I love that you've got Foose, Mag, and Keita.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those three can get physical. They love physicality. At least that's what it comes across to me. I could be reading it wrong, but it looks like they embrace it. There was a Keba Keita put back. And see, I always get things blurred between end of regulation, first overtime, and second overtime. But you know the putback I'm talking about?
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it was off of, it was a Richie Saunders miss. Richie actually.
OT number 1, I think it was.
Yep.
Keba was wide open. And Richie drove to the hole. Keba's standing there, and Richie decides he's going to go for a really difficult force through layup. And Keba's watching it, and it bounces off the rim, and Keba just goes up and boom, just drives it home.
He had like 9 of their 17 offensive rebounds. Like he was all over the place.
Keba's good, man. He makes the difference right now for BYU defensively. But I also think that there is a offensive route using Foose down low, getting it into him and letting him push back a little bit. But I have seen that he's not quite as sure with his fingertips on those balls right now.
No.
Like and last night, because Iowa State was so stinking physical, slapping at everything, you had to have people on the court that you had ultimate trust in the ball handling. Even the guys you did trust, you saw how many forced turnovers there were.
Yep.
There was a lot.
Yep. And that's another thing. And to your point, refs are going to swallow those whistles. They're not going to bail you out on those.
They can't call everything.
Nope. And that's what a lot of teams will too, is they'll be like, okay, we know they're not going to call a foul on every play. So let's just foul every play, because there's going to be a lot of these possessions they're not going to call anything.
Well, I'd love to see BYU. Well, BYU did play that way. To a certain extent, they did. They played some nice aggressive defense. And you had to. To be able to beat Iowa State, you had to.
Yeah.
But Iowa State's got some great talent too, man.
Oh, yeah. They're number 10 for a reason. All right, 228, Hans and Scotty. We'll revisit Hans' trip on the ice coming up next. I'm excited for this conversation. Straight ahead, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, because this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Let me tell you an amazing story. Last week, a customer came in. They were a creative director for an agency, and they were frustrated that their old, slow computer wasn't processing their files quick enough. He had a big project due and could not afford any delays. Well, we hooked him up with one of our new, powerful 2025 desktops for only $999, and he was able to complete his project with ease. Take one home today. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Cold.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at KSLPodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files, Season 2, Justice for Joyce, and Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at KSLPodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you an electrician or a telecom technician and want to earn more? We are looking to hire journeymen and apprentices with experience. We have jobs available now. Electricians who join IBEW Local 354 earn higher pay, paid holidays, employer-paid healthcare and retirements, electrical expertise, and industry innovation. We are IBEW Local 354. Call us at 801-306-0722 or go to IBEW354.org.
At Black Desert Resort, you can truly indulge in luxury your way. Whether you choose a sleek studio or an expansive 4-bedroom suite, you're just moments away from teeing off on a championship golf course, savoring top-tier dining, relaxing poolside, or exploring the rugged beauty of southern Utah. Whatever thrill you seek, it's right outside your door. Your journey awaits at blackdesertresort.com. Get lost and find luxury.
Ready to say goodbye to the daily dinner scramble and spend more time with your family? Say hello to Beehive Meals, your solution for delicious, stress-free dinners. Beehive Meals' award-winning service takes care of the prep work, simplifying your evening routine with pre-assembled meals delivered to your door. Easy to customize and cook. Just toss them in the slow cooker, and you're ready to enjoy delicious, healthy, and hassle-free meals. Visit beehivemeals.com today and take the busy work out of family dinner.
What's better than a credit card with low interest? How about one with no interest? For a limited time, when you open a new America First Visa credit card, you'll enjoy 0% APR for the first 6 months. Transfer your balances from higher rate cards to your new America First card to consolidate debt and potentially save yourself a lot of money. That's 0 interest for 6 months. Interested? Then hurry to americafirst.com to apply today. Introductory variable annual percentage rate is subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Other limits and requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity lender.
This is a Utah Jazz at 30 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's your Jazz at 30 update right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, Will Hardy, appreciating the work that Kyle Filipowski continues to put in.
I think the work that Kyle's done on his shooting is showing itself. It's one of the real bright spots, and probably just because it stands out in an obvious way in terms of the development this season. Kyle developing his perimeter shot changes how he's guarded, changes things that we can do with him on the floor. I do think as we continue to go forward, there should be some opportunity for Walker and Kyle to play a little bit together and see what it looks like.
That's your Jazz at 30 update, brought to you by U of U Health, the official health partner of the Utah Jazz.
Number one. Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, man.
How
this is going to get rough.
Did you feel the cold out there? Like, did you feel cold with all those layers
no,
you had
not
on?
at all. No. It's actually really nice. Like, as far as football to hockey,
yeah,
getting to play indoors around cool ice, I was sweating like crazy, but it is nice that you don't have sun beaming down on you or crazy snow coming sideways. The indoor controlled climate on ice is kind of a nice deal. But that's about where nice ends.
That's where when you're taking slap shots at 80 miles an hour coming at your head. Joining us now, he took a few shots at our guy Hans Olsen earlier this morning. He is the general manager and head coach of the Utah Grizzlies, Ryan Kanasowicz, kind enough to join us. Ryan, how are you?
Hey, Coach.
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
What time do you need me back? I don't know if you're going to be able to get me ready for E-Bug. I'm not sure.
Well, we're going to have to see how you're doing in the morning.
It's not even going to take till the morning, Coach. I'm struggling through the show. Pretty sore.
About halfway through a bottle of ibuprofen already.
Yeah, so. Pretty sore. I actually think I got dinged a little bit. I think it might be my first concussion since football. Taking the puck, I think, to the front of the pad and then to the helmet. That was an eye-opener, Coach.
Yeah, that one, a little misfire on my part. But that's why you got the helmet on, right?
Oh, man. Luckily, you do have the helmet on. That was a lot of fun. And I got to sit around and watch some practice afterwards. And, man, the three that you got in that, that's some high-level goalie that you got in there.
Yeah. I mean, they're all three of them. One's under NHL contract, one's AHL contract, and one's contracted with us. And, I mean, all three of them have been really good for us this year. And then the one under NHL contract, he's actually been tearing it up in the AAA team with the Colorado Eagles. And he just actually signed an NHL deal yesterday. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you look at when you're developing or scouting a potential goaltender, what are the things you're looking for, and what does Hans have that might jump out at you and say, like, okay, that's a guy that we could have between the pipes?
Well, number one, usually is size. So Hans is checked that off the box right away.
There we go.
And obviously, athleticism, right? Obviously, former football player, so he's got 2 check marks there. And then it's just poise and just being calm and cool under pressure. As you watch a lot of that, when they get late into games, how they react and how they respond. It's a different position, obviously, to scout, just because, I was a forward. So, like, finding those guys just comes easier. But, finding those goalies, you're looking for the size and the athleticism right away.
I also have the Scandinavian name. So, if we just throw a bit of Oleson in there, so you could be Hans Oleson, and it could be, the name fits. I mean, I do look like a Viking.
Yeah, you got that going for you. So I think, maybe we can get some few more sessions on the ice. Who knows what we can do.
It was so much fun. Thanks for having me out, Coach, and thanks for allowing us to do that, come out and film, and thanks for putting up with Jay Stevens. I don't know if there's a better dude on this planet, man. Jay is something else.
I know. I've known Jay now since probably 2005, so it's 20 years now. He's awesome. Like, he cares so much, and he's so passionate about growing hockey here in the state of Utah, and he's going to continue to be a big part of that.
So I am kind of curious, though, when Jay comes up to you and says, hey, we got this guy as a former NFL player, and we want to give him a little bit of experience. I'm sure that you've been to a lot of places where there's been, local guys like, oh, I'd love to suit up and stuff like that. So it's just you and me talking. Hans isn't here anymore. Give me your evaluation. Yeah. Did he do better than you thought he'd do in that situation?
I mean, he did okay. It's like I was telling him today, like, I've been skating since I was 2 years old, so for him to kind of strap on the gear, I thought he did really well. That being said, I don't know if pro hockey is in his future. And I'm saying that as nice as I can.
An ice tub is in my future. That's what's in my ice tub and ibuprofen.
What do you want out of coach? You want a coach who's direct, who's honest, and lets you know where you stand. And I think you checked all those boxes right there.
Oh, it's a good, fair evaluation. Coach, what do we got coming up for the Grizzlies? When can we come out and check this out? Because people are caught up in the Utah Hockey Club craze, and they're going nuts for hockey right now with the Four Nations thing that went down. you can come out, you can get some affordable but high-level, pro-level hockey by coming in and watching the Grizzlies. What's our next way to do that?
Friday night versus the Tulsa Oilers will be 7:10 at the Maverick Center, and then Sunday at 3:10 we'll got a little 2-game homestand before we hit the road for 6. So this will be the last chance for a few weeks for people to come out and get some good, affordable, fast, young guys trying to prove themselves, and it's a good quality of hockey, and when that Maverick Center gets 7,000-8,000 fans in there, it gets loud.
You obviously had a lot of success here as a player, now the GM and the coach. What is have you always got the sense that Salt Lake was a potential hot spot for hockey, because it really has taken off over the last year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the Winter Olympics being here, it's a winter town, right? So for hockey to come here, it's a perfect fit, and I think it's only going to grow. You can see the excitement, especially with the grassroots. The Utah Hockey Club has done some great things with that, and it's just going to continue to explode, I think.
Coach, I got to tell you, you've still got a heck of a shot. I mean, not that I've got a lot to experience to gauge off of, but I could see you were putting it in pockets probably, 5-inch by 5-inch, maybe 8-inch by 8-inch. How tight of a shot can you make when you put it? Let's say you're at 25 feet. Like, what range can you put that puck in?
I mean, you're looking for a pretty small hole, right? Some of these, you saw the size of our goaltenders out there today, so you don't have much to shoot at. So you got, like you said, probably a little 8-inch window to put it in, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And, I mean, you saw practice today. Guys are out there. They're on the ice every day, and they're kind of honing in their craft. So, I was an offensive forward, and I always like to work on that, so I always took pride in that, and our guys do too.
It's interesting. I've been around a lot of basketball coaches, and they always talk about, there was a guy last year that I worked with, and I asked him, who's the best shooter on the team? He goes, it's still me. And I was like, oh, okay. And he actually was. So I got to imagine you're still out there like, I can still shoot better than this guy. I can still do better than this. You can take the player off the ice, but you can't take the player out of the guy.
Well, Scotty, I will tell you that Coach's jersey is up in the rafters.
As it should be. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think since I retired from playing, you start doing so many more like skill development days and camps and stuff like that. I feel like I got more skill now than when I played.
Interesting. Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks for hosting us earlier today, and can't wait to see what you guys do near the back end of the season here.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
You got it. Head coach, GM, wearing a lot of hats for the Utah Grizzlies, Ryan Kanasowicz.
And could still hit a shot.
Yeah.
Holy moly. So there were 2 Grizzly players, Coach and Cole. Those were the 4 that were throwing pucks at me. And the 2 Grizzly players, they fire them hot, but they fire them pretty straight. Coach was doing that drill where he was looping. He would loop off the corner and come around, and you can't. I don't even know how these guys stop 30%, let alone expected up in the 88 to 92%.
Yeah. And that's the number you need to be at, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to stop 90.
He said like an average guy is like 90.
Well,
the great ones are what, 93, 94?
I want to say the top 10 right now in the NHL, top 10 goalies in the NHL are like 90 to 92.
Jeez.
So
that's crazy.
You got to be up there a ways.
Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, by the way, Lloyd sent us this. I want to get your opinion on it real quick before we go to break.
All right.
So the University of Miami baseball team, they honor every team that comes in by putting together a special meal based on the geography of where they come from. Well, Villanova is playing baseball at Miami. Villanova, outside of Philadelphia. What's Philly known for? Philly cheesesteak. They have made a Philly cheesesteak milkshake with vanilla ice cream, vanilla syrup, topped with a cheesesteak sandwich. And as you can see, there's the shaved steak and the sandwich. I'll just...
Is that Cheese Whiz?
Slam, and it's cheese of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's all jammed into that milkshake.
Looks like the Whizzer.
Yes or no? Yeah, Lloyd was not happy about this. I'd give it a shot.
It's a big
No
straw.
way.
I would.
Looking at that should anger you.
It's a big straw.
I love a good Philly cheesesteak and I love a shake, so
Not together.
Yeah, but
maybe
usually
one after the other.
You usually eat them together, so why not just, it's all about efficiency.
I want to see you put all that into your Ninja Creamy.
There
See
we
how that
go.
goes.
I'm going to go no.
You're gonna pass on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't do no a lot.
I know.
I think the last time I did it was on the Crickets.
Oh, yeah, I'm not touching that.
But this one, I think they went too far. I'm going to go a good, hard no.
They did go too far.
Yeah.
Just because you can.
That's domestic terrorism
Doesn't
right
mean
there.
you should.
Ryan is...
Oh, he's awesome.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah.
He is a tough dude. And I got to watch him coach for a little bit. I stayed out there for almost 30, 40 minutes. Lloyd was out there for a bit watching these guys.
At any
run
point, were you
drills.
a little bit nervous one of those pucks was going to kind of fly over?
One about got you.
Yeah. No, he slammed it off the board to use it as a backboard.
Right
and
in
that
front
made
of
me
you.
a little bit nervous. I was like,
Because there's no glass in front of us.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were standing in with the players on the bench. And so there's no glass. So you're from your belly button up is exposed.
Oh, nope.
And it hit the wall probably 3 inches below the lip, and it would have just squared right up on Lloyd.
just say I inched over towards hands just a little closer.
And when it
a
hit,
little closer.
we all started paying attention.
Yeah.
Because you're used to having the glass in front of you. But
Yeah.
we're standing right there, and these guys are running full bore drills. Ooh. It's such a unique perspective. I really am grateful to Jay and to Coach Ryan and everybody and Nate and everybody that made that happen, because it gives me some perspective.
Yeah.
You really have to appreciate what these athletes go through. And then, like Bill Armstrong said on our show, there is nothing that you will do in your life that will be harder than playing in the NHL. And the reason I can back that up is because there has nothing been even close to what I had to endure through my 3 years in the NFL. Of course, cutting that third year, but nothing more difficult to endure. Not even close.
Physically and mentally.
Because people are like, oh, yeah, but you got the millions of dollars. Well, I was an undrafted free agent, so I was scraping for every penny I could possibly get my hands on. Yeah, but you make money and you're going to be fine. Yeah, but you also know you're young and you'll never get that chance to make that money again. And when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
That chance is gone. If you blow it or you're just not good enough, it's gone. Well, that sits on your shoulders. So you worry about that more than you worry about getting better at the game.
Mm.
You worry about the game being done with you. And the margin of error for these goalies, it is so razor thin. It's so razor thin. Like we're watching Vejmelka right now. Veggie, as they call him. He's on a pretty good run. We're watching Connor Ingram. He's stumbled a little bit. And you're thinking Ingram was the dog coming in.
Yeah.
Ingram got injured, gave up a couple of goals. Veggie comes in, has a couple of really good games. And now you're looking at Ingram like, okay, well, what's going to happen with Ingram? Because he's a really good goalie. But how long can you keep that level of goalie on the bench? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with him because the margins are so razor thin.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. When I came off the ice after having just been in that net for a bit, it's like you would take the entire outcome of a game as a goalie and put it on you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If that scoreboard shows 0 as you're coming off the ice as a goalie, you're like, I won this game.
Yep.
If you're coming off the ice and that scoreboard shows 5-4, your team had 4 and you gave up 5, you're like, I lost that. Wholehearted. I'm not even going to put that on a center. I'm not going to put that on my defense. I let those come past my final mitt, and that's on me. So it would rest really heavy on you.
250, Hans and Scotty wrap this bad boy up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Greg Wyshynski, senior NHL writer for ESPN. How long should it take for a rebuild? And I've asked this question, and it does seem to put people on the defensive because the assumption is that it's taking too long. How patient should people be here, and how much does it pay off to be patient?
Patience is the virtue here, because to be contending now this late in the season is great. You want that. You want fans to get excited about a playoff race and hopefully to get excited about a playoff appearance. But as far as making the playoffs or even being a contender to advance out of the conference, they've got plenty of time between the budget that the Smiths will have for this team in the next 2 years as far as talent acquisition and the foundation of young players they have. They're primed to do some really, really big things in the next 3 years.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're huge fans of the University of Utah Health. Why? Because they're here for you. And the kind of help that they give the Jazz, the Utah Hockey Club, the Grizzlies, the Salt Lake Bees, the University of Utah teams are the same help and care that they're going to give you. From routine to urgent care, you can get the health care you need in multiple different ways. You want a over-the-phone virtual care, they can do that. You need urgent care, they've got 9 locations up and down the Wasatch Front. You need to go to a hospital, well, no big deal. They've got the #1 hospital in the state of Utah for 11 consecutive years. That's the University of Utah Hospital. U of U Health, delivering world-class care right to your neighborhood, and they're ready to help you right now. Get started at uofuhealth.org. That's uofuhealth.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hey, not to be dramatic, but you should smell this. Smells so good.
Whoa, that's quite the reaction to mixing and matching Gain scents. Let's hear another from Ashley, who mixed Gain products and went...
I'm so excited.
Yes, you are. What about you, Isaiah?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And Emily summed it up like so.
It is just chef's kiss.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Mix, match, more happy with Gain.
Bar W Beef, the new state-of-the-art retail butcher shop in Nephi, is now open. They offer locally born, ethically and humanely raised beef with options for both larger and smaller everyday quantities of grain and grass-finished cuts, all at prices that rival your local grocer. Bar W Beef is setting a new standard in the beef industry with their unwavering commitment to quality, cleanliness, and attention to detail. Use promo code FIRSTORDER10 for 10% off your first order. Visit Bar W Beef in Nephi or online at barwbeef.com. barwbeef.com.
Attention sports fans! Imagine the peace of mind knowing that when you open a gold-tiered checking account with Hercules First Federal Credit Union, you get premium perks as part of your package.
Start 2025 off with Gold Tier Checking and unlock unbeatable benefits. Earn up to 4.25% APY on your balances. Earn points on everyday spending. Redeem for travel, cash back, gift cards, and more. Enjoy Ultimate ID 3 Bureau credit monitoring and free cellular care coverage with no monthly fees. But that's not all. Lock in your future today with Hercules First Federal Credit Union's 12-month CD at 4.4% APY. A winning play to watch your money grow stronger together. Don't miss out. Open your Gold Tier checking account or 4.4% APY CD today. Visit HerculesCU.com to learn more. Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
At Larry H. Miller Toyota Murray, you're not just a guest, you're part of the family. When you're part of the family, buying or servicing your vehicle is easy. Visit LarryHMillerToyota.com.
This is a Utah Hockey Club at 50 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's your Utah Hockey Club at 50 update right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. After playing a bunch of games in a short amount of time, the Utah Hockey Club has had a bit of a break. Won't play again until tomorrow. Andre Tierney talks about his team trying to hold their focus during this time off.
We don't want to lose our rhythm. I think we did a good job after the formation. Got at such a pace when we got in the game in LA. We're up and running right away. It's the same principle. We have 4 days. That's the main thing. We need to get out there, get the intensity up, but it's more maintaining our structure, maintaining our strength right now than changing anything.
It's your Utah Hockey Club at 50 update brought to you by ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready. Your trusted partner in emergency preparedness.
You're locked on to Hans Olsen and Scotty G. That's right, yeah! On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Make sure to join Jake and Ben coming up tomorrow from 10 to noon at Peach Window and Doors, 2940 South, 300 West. PeachBuildingProducts.com is their website as well. And I'm fired up on Friday. You and I are heading south. We're going to be in Nephi.
Yep.
At Bar W Beef.
Right where we should be.
Right where we should be with our people.
So get ready, and I'll just give you a little bit of heads up. You probably want to be out that direction because last time we did give some nice baskets out.
Yes.
Full of beef.
Yep.
Baskets of beef, so you might want to be ready for that.
Come by and assemble your own cow and bring it home, put it in your freezer.
Yeah, or just think, man, you come in and take advantage of it. Typically, there's an extra % or two thrown on there. Bart's always done an amazing job for our listeners. So come in and throw a quarter beef or half beef in your truck and take off. You got a freezer stocked with the best beef in Utah.
If you want to check out what's available, go to barwbeef.com. And if you can't make it down, remember, they're going to give you free shipping anywhere in the state of Utah when you spend $150 or more.
Well, I'm going to head over to the arena because I got pre-half and post for the Utah Jazz, so I'll probably stink Coach Lacombe out. Mike Smith's going to be stopping by, obviously, with the pre-game. So
drenched in that cologne. He'll cover you up.
I know, but I just feel bad, man.
I by the way, I did not catch any whiff of anything.
Need to hit the showers. I wasn't ready.
It's all good, man. You're good.
I apologize.
You're good.
Do it better tomorrow.
By the way, off to a junior high wrestling match. Brody doing a little wrestling tonight.
I love it, man.
Let's go, Brode.
Tough sport.
Let's get it done.
Toughest sport he'll ever play.
Yeah, no doubt. He's very well aware of that now. Hans and Scotty back with you tomorrow. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Want to get the latest info on Utah's newest sports franchise? Sign up for the Utah Hockey Newsletter. Exclusive analysis, plus the latest news and notes on the Utah Hockey Club. Sign up today at KSLSports.com for the Utah Hockey Newsletter. Brought to you by Quantum Fiber. Hockey fans, let your voice be heard this season with the Utah Hockey Fan Forum. Visit the Utah Hockey Club page on KSLSports.com to connect with the team, other fans, and our KSL Sports insiders. Start chatting today in the Utah Hockey Fan Forum on KSLSports.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey guys, Jake and Ben here for our friends at Peach Doors and Windows. Listen, are you considering finishing your basement or turning your basement into a living space? Maybe you've got that young adult in your life who is moving back home. It happens a lot.
Yeah, maybe it's time for an update of your windows. Maybe they're drafty. Maybe they're not energy efficient. Maybe they're not to code for a fire escape. Are they letting outdoor noise in? Maybe it's time to call Peach Windows and let their experts see if they can transform your space.
Peach Doors is here to make the entire process smooth and stress-free. Visit their showroom to see their wide selection of wood doors, durable fiberglass, energy-efficient aluminum, oversized glass, bifold doors, and so much more.
Let Peach help you find the perfect match for your home, budget, and personal style. You can visit the showroom and see for yourself. There's no pushy sales tactics, only guidance from their excellent staff. There's no inflated markups just for so-called discounts.
You can check out their 5-star reviews where customers rate them on their attention to detail through every step of the process. Amazing home transformations begin with windows and doors, serving Logan to St. George.
Just Google Peach Building to see for yourself.
Bills stacking up at your HVAC system's gone. Gillette Services has the perfect solution. Install a new high-efficiency system and get a $1,000 rebate the very same day. That's right, $1,000 in your pocket just for upgrading. And the best bet, you don't have to make a single payment until 2027. Don't miss this limited time offer. Call 385-GET-HEAT for your free estimate. Gillette Services. Comfort now, pay later.
Carrier, turn to the experts. A Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Hi, Susan. We haven't seen or heard from you.
Cold.
We would like to locate Joyce.
The mysteries that made podcast history
Cherie Warren disappeared.
are now together for free at KSLPodcasts.com.
I'm Dave Cawley, the host of Cold. Join me for Season 1, The Susan Powell Case Files. Season 2, Justice for Joyce. And Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Listen anytime for free at KSLPodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Travis Hunter said that playing both ways in football is harder than what Shohei Ohtani does in baseball. A corner and a receiver, you're basically using the same skill set. Shohei Ohtani is playing 2 different positions that are completely unrelated. Being a good pitcher has absolutely nothing to do with being a good hitter. That's like being really good at algebra and poetry.
You're Leonardo da Vinci. You're not Stevie Wonder. It's like, yeah, Stevie Wonder's a great drummer and harmonica player and guitar player and piano player. Yeah, he's musical. Da Vinci being the greatest painter of all time and maybe our greatest inventor. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
What were you working with?
It's like Carl Lewis being good at the 100 and the 200.
What? How?
How is that even possible?
He's fast.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Attention sports fans! Elevate your 2025 finances with a Gold Tier checking account from Hercules First Federal Credit Union.
Score big with up to 4.25% APY on balances, rewards points for everyday spending, and perks like Ultimate ID credit monitoring and free cellular care coverage, all with no monthly fees. Join Gold Tier today and watch your savings grow. Visit HerculesCU.com to learn more. Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colbert, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Welcome to your Wednesday. Thanks for being with us on the program. And boy, oof. We're giving you a pregame right here. We're getting you ready. We have so many things going on right now, and we only have 1 hour to be able to deliver it to you. So come on. Jump in. Hey, JJ, what's up? You got your hockey club shirt on, man?
Well, I'm getting ready for our first guest.
Very exciting stuff.
We're going to welcome in the voice here shortly, so I had to be ready to go.
I've got to harass Mike Folta now because, now, every time I listen to him and we have our weekly conversations and then I track Purdue. And I track Purdue basketball now.
I feel bad because
not for any other reason except for that I want to dig at Mike Folta. All right, when it comes down to it.
I didn't mean for this to happen, but it sounds like we've created a thing when Mike comes on.
And you know what? He knows now. He knows. And
putting a lot of pressure on the Boilermakers to deliver so that Mike doesn't have to humiliate himself every time he comes on the air. They got to play better. They got to step it up. It's March.
It's a Monday. I don't know if you knew this, but I asked Alex, and he wasn't sure either. BYU won last night, didn't they?
Don't tell me you went to bed before the second overtime.
Not. You know what's funny is that I've gotten to that point of parenthood that I'm like, all right, if it goes to overtime, you're still going to bed. And then they're like, no. And it went to the second overtime, and I was like, you guys, I can't keep doing this. You're going to bed. And they're like, no. And really.
You made your kids go to bed before that game ended?
I told you I got harassed because I made the younger boys miss the end of the Arizona game, which, of course, went BYU's way. I'm going to be completely honest. I have been I think it's just the pessimistic fan or pessimistic radio host or cynical whatever that we've become in the media, JJ. We haven't been really allowed to have nice things when it comes to the teams that we cover here.
I think this market suffers from that a great deal.
There's a lot of nah, not for this.
Eventually your
Can't
hopes
happen here.
And dreams are going to be crushed in some painful way.
Yeah.
So even when things are good, you're like, okay, what bad thing's happening next?
Right. I mean, honestly, so I remember when Utah went to its first Rose Bowl, and I was like, yeah, but they're probably just going to get blown out. And you remember how it started? They were up, 3 touchdowns
in
the first 4.5 minutes?
Entering the fourth quarter.
Right. So obviously, and they lost the game, but you know what it was is you got the vibe that they belonged, right? And it was a year that was already a dream of being able to be like, they just won the freaking Pac-12 championship, and they're playing Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, and they're winning the Rose Bowl. And while they ended up losing that thing at the very end, and the heartbreaker from a freaking kicker who waved at them, all that stuff still lives in our head.
Yeah.
We were standing next to each other down there on the field.
Yes.
This was a painful moment, but it was also one of these moments where it was like, are you allowed to have these moments here in this market? BYU has won 7 games in a row in the Big 12. BYU has beaten Arizona at their floor, and they beat now Iowa State, who we talked about extensively yesterday, preparing people's minds for.
2 teams that are probably Elite 8 good. Iowa State was a 2 seed in the latest bracketology.
Was.
Lenardi. I mean, I don't think it's been updated yet, but that's
you tell
where
me.
they're at.
You tell me. And we'll get into it.
They were top 10 in the country.
All right,
and BYU went into their house and had a 21-point lead. And
yes.
We all know what happened after that, but they come out with a victory, so that's all that matters.
We got to get into the show officially, so let's just jump in here. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. And of course, if you're one of these people that is excited for how that's turned out, we'll get more into BYU basketball coming up in just a few minutes here. But yeah, look, it was a phenomenal night last night for BYU, and it was an awesome go for them. And as soon as you think that you can't have nice things in this market with sports right now, I mean, it's just like everybody's either on the cusp of the playoffs or in a rebuild, or it's so. Look, this is one of those moments.
Is it too early for Utah Hockey Club fans to have the same attitude?
No, it's not.
Or are they going to power ahead and avoid it?
Which is why we should be excited. Let's jump into the cut here. Let's get to the radio voice of the Utah Hockey Club, Mike Folta. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by Trajan Wealth, Trajan Wealth, your trusted local financial fiduciaries in retirement. He is Mike Folta, the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Hockey Club. Mike, welcome to the program. How is everything this week? You feeling good? No broken extremities from the skiing?
Feeling great, guys. Greetings from Motor City.
Yeah, man.
Just got here in Detroit. I was about to hit the hotel gym and work out, sticking to my normal routine, and then I forgot I had to jump on with you guys real quick. So you yanked me away from some physical prosperities, but I'm glad to be with you guys and talk some hockey here.
I love it. Well, look, Mike, I mean, now you have to do this radio interview, so of course you can't work out later. I mean, obviously we ruined it. Now you can't do it. It's
that window has closed.
5 p.m. Eastern. It threw you off. Yeah, I mean, it's all crazy. By the way, yes, you're calling radio hockey for the Utah Hockey Club, an NHL club in Detroit against the Red Wings. Like, do you say those things out loud to yourself ever, or and really go, I cannot believe this?
It's pretty remarkable, and especially when you play these original 6 teams, it's pretty humbling to step into the radio booth that's been occupied by some legends of the game and some Hall of Famers, and it's going to be a fun one tomorrow when Utah and Detroit go head to head on the ice. But yes, that feeling is not lost on me when I see that winged wheel logo, a logo at a team that's been around since, the early part of the 20th centuries. And you know how much hockey means in this city. And so to get to call a game here is pretty special.
Yeah, every game that the Utah Hockey Club has played in this year has just felt special. But then when they're playing one of those original 6 teams, even the Chicago games where the Blackhawks aren't good, Mike, it still felt special when you're playing the Blackhawks. So this is exciting, but there's another reason why this game is so exciting is because for both of these teams, there's a lot of similarity here with where they're at in the standings and what's at stake for both teams. The Red Wings are just on the outside looking in with 66 points. Utah's at 63 points, chasing that last wild card spot. These are 2 teams that are very similar where they're at with trying to get to the playoffs. The Red Wings how long has it been since they've been in the playoffs? They're both hungry.
Yeah, they're on a historical playoff drought right now, which is saying something for them, an organization that's been around, like I said, since before World War II. So they haven't made the postseason since 2015, 2016, and there are some interesting parallels to draw between the Red Wings and between the Utah Hockey Club, and that's in the sense that they're both teams are in a rebuild here. Like you've talked to General Manager Bill Armstrong, and he'll tell you until he's blue in the face that we're in the 4th year of a rebuild that started back when this team was in Arizona. Well, the Detroit Red Wings have been rebuilding since even before that. They've been rebuilding since around the 2019 season. So they're actually, in year 6 or 7 of their rebuild. And yet both teams are trying to break into the playoffs for the first time in several years. So the rebuild has just taken Detroit longer, but they have a lot of really good young players that are starting to advance at the NHL ranks, similar to what Utah's young players are doing. So both sides kind of at similar spots in the rebuild, even though it's taken Detroit a little bit longer.
So Detroit, similar to Utah in the wins and losses category, and from a point standpoint, I think they've got they're 66, and the hockey club, of course, is at 63. Now they're not in the same division or in the same conference, but it does kind of show you that these teams are both in a very similar spot where they are, from a points perspective, fighting in that same spot. But Detroit with 66 points is in a much better location when it comes to trying to get to those playoffs. The New Jersey game on Saturday, that was a hard-fought game. There was definitely a feel that New Jersey is a very good hockey team, which, by the way, very good hockey teams have come into Delta Center and have lost to this club, or the hockey club will go to their place and they'll beat very, very good teams after they had just beaten the Wild, who have a very similar record to New Jersey. I remember thinking, okay, anybody could show up in the club could beat them, but New Jersey was at a different level. Am I seeing things different in that 3-1 loss? We went to that game and I remember thinking, man, this is a tough New Jersey Devils team, and this hockey club, maybe it's because obviously the success they had, they finally got by somebody. But what did you see in that game that you looked at and said, okay, no panic though, this is a really, really good team they're playing against?
Number one thing for me that I don't want to get lost on fans is that was Utah's 5th game in 8 days. And so they had been chugging along and playing some hard, close, low-scoring games for a while. Obviously, the game against Minnesota, they won 6-1. They had some more cushion, but before that, they were winning these close 2-1 hockey games, and so they had played a lot of intense hockey throughout that week, and I think it just kind of caught up to them against New Jersey, who a team with a lot of skill up front. They haven't been scoring as much as they would like this year. However, Devils one of the best defensive teams in the NHL, and we've been talking about Utah playing playoff hockey for the last couple of years or last couple of weeks. Like these are playoff style games for Utah here at the end of the year. Well, New Jersey they play the way that a lot of teams kind of shift towards playing in the postseason. They batten down the hatches defensively. There's not a lot of room out there. They put a lot of pressure on you in the defensive zone, and so that was a tough matchup for Utah to begin with. And then you factor in the idea that they were playing their fifth game in 8 nights, a really busy part of the schedule coming out of the Four Nations break, and now they get 4 days off before Detroit tomorrow. I think you gotta play that into account as well.
How do you feel about where they're at right now? You mentioned the 5 games in 8 days. Now they got this break. They got to feel a little bit refreshed. They're healthy for basically the first time since the first week of the year. How do you feel where they're at going into this stretch? Are they ready to make a run here?
I feel good because I think our general manager, Bill Armstrong, feels pretty good about the way this team has played coming out of the Four Nations break, winning 3 of their 5 games since the break, and even their losses have been, again, kind of tightly contested games. Losses to LA and to Minnesota. They had 3 wins sandwiched in there in between. But this is the time of year where we kind of get to see what Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley and Josh Doan and these young players, we get to see what they're made of a little bit. And we kind of get to hold them over the fire and see what the result is and see what needs to be addressed moving forward with this young core. And so that's why, Utah hasn't made any huge swings here ahead of the trade deadline, which is coming up. It'll be in 2 days' time. So what's the day? Tuesday?
Yeah,
Wednesday?
Friday afternoon. Yeah, we'll be at, yeah.
It's always Friday afternoon for you guys. Come on. But no, the deadline is coming up here on Friday at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. And from everything that we've heard from Bill Armstrong and from what we've heard from reporters around the league, it doesn't sound like Utah is going to make a huge swing. And I think Bill likes this team the way it is and wants to see what these young guys can do.
Mike Folter, radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Hockey Club, on the road with this team, of course, as they have a little bit of a road swing here after being home for 8 games. And this team has figured out a lot during these last couple of weeks. What do you think the biggest lesson is that they've learned? Obviously, getting healthy isn't really a lesson you can learn, but it's helped along the way. But what are they learning as a group, do you think, that's made them get to another level when it comes to playing these teams?
Yeah, I think game management is a big part of it, and that's such like an up-in-the-air term. Like, what does that even mean, game management? To me, it comes down to composure in key moments. This team committed a lot of penalties earlier in the year, and now Utah has really dialed back the amount of penalties that they've taken. If you look at how many times they've been shorthanded over the last, say, 15, 16 games, it's about two minutes per game where about 2 occasions where they're shorthanded per game. So that's 2 penalty kills. Compared to the first 45 games of the year, where this team was shorthanded for about 3.5 penalty kills per game. So that's a big number salad to explain the point that this team is staying out of the box a lot more. And so they've been better defensively, first and foremost. They're keeping guys in front of them. That leads to fewer penalties. But they're also more composed in these tight moments when you can't afford to put a really good team on the power play in the third period, kind of like what we're going to see tomorrow against Detroit, who has the second best power play in the NHL, around 29%.
They signed Ole Mata to an extension for 3 years, and it's a really cap-friendly deal. What did they see in Ole Mata? You have a young team, so you want to make sure you bring in the right guys with them, and Ole's a vet that's won some cups. What did they see in him that they said, you know what, we want this guy to be a part of our future, and we're going to lock him up?
Yeah, it's it's what you see, but it's also what you don't see. And what you don't see when Ole Mata is on the ice, you don't see a lot of mistakes. You don't see a lot of pucks getting in behind your defenseman. You don't see a lot of glaring lapses in coverage. He is just a calming presence back there. And talking with Ian Cole, another veteran defenseman on this Utah group, who actually played with Ole when the two were with the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the mid-2010s. They won a couple of Stanley Cups together. Ian Cole has said, hey, we don't win those Stanley Cups in Pittsburgh without Ole Mata. And there's some Hall of Famers on those Penguins teams. But Ian Cole made sure to make mention of Ole's contributions as well. He's just a really smooth skating defenseman, makes a lot of good decisions, moves the puck very well. Not overly dynamic offensively. He's not going to put up the numbers that a Sean Dursey will. But when you're out there or when you're at a game, just watch number 2 and watch how many good decisions he makes, and maybe have a stopwatch on you to see how little time Utah spends in their own zone when Ole's out there. And on top of all that, he's a pro's pro. I mean, he takes care of his body. He's incredibly insightful. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to talk to him, but he's well-educated, thoughtful, and a great example to have around a really young room.
One of the things that we've noticed also with this team is because of kind of where they're at in the standings, and is there a ton of pressure on these guys, you think, from the inside? They obviously know the importance of each one of these games, but that could get to some groups. That could get to some young guys, but does it get to them, or do you think that's the kind of thing where they turn a corner and go, no, we love this. This is what we play for? Because at this time last year, they were obviously in the depths of a 14-game losing streak, and it's a very different feel this year. And Coach Tourney obviously made some reference to that, where it's just like, look, we're in the hunt right here. We're not 10 points behind the playoffs. We're 2 points behind. So we can be right there. Do you think that the team responds to that and they love that pressure, or is it something that could be too much for a young team?
I think you'd have to ask the players themselves that. I mean, I don't want to answer for them, but I do think you had something when you mentioned, they love the pressure. It's a privilege, right? To be able to play in meaningful games where the coach doesn't have to fire up the dressing room every night. That's a privilege. Like there are teams that are locked into a playoff spot, or so to speak, right now in the NHL, who are a little worried because they're not playing meaningful games, and they're not going to be throughout the rest of the year. And something that Bill Armstrong mentioned with Scotty and Hans, I think maybe last week, he said, hey, look, since we're playing these meaningful games, if we do get into the playoffs, the fact that we've played so many meaningful games down the stretch, that bodes really well for us, because we're already in that battle mentality where everything is do or die. Whereas you look at some of these teams that coast their way into the postseason, you look at some of the number 1 seeds over the years who have been knocked off in the first round because they haven't had to fight for table scraps through March and April, whereas the 8th seed did. And it's a pretty common trend in hockey, looking at, Columbus taking down Tampa Bay in 8-1 matchup a couple years ago. You've got even after that, the Florida Panthers as an 8th seed took down the Boston Bruins, who had a historical regular season. So sometimes when you're coasting into the postseason, you're not maybe playing your best hockey in that first round, and that's where a lower seed can get you. Not that I know anything about lower seeds knocking off number 1 seeds or anything like that. I mean, never seen that, especially in basketball. But
hey, you're the one who brought up.
Yes.
Just let the
we
record show.
We were going to stop that bit.
Let the record show.
We were going to retire because we felt really bad about it because we're making you feel bad. But it sounds like you're kind of enjoying it. So, do we need to check in on the Boilermakers?
They got a big win. Was it last night that they put like 100 spot up on Rutgers, or when was that?
I think I saw a stat that said for a 5-year, Purdue is the winningest school in Big Ten history in a 5-year stretch, or maybe it was Matt Painter, the winningest coach in Big Ten history in a 5-year stretch. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I'm willing to just kind of.
Well, I will say, I was watching a video the other day, and they asked every Big Ten coach the hardest place to play, and when Tom Izzo's by far the Mackey Center, that's a pretty good nod. Everybody said the Mackey Center. because it's just so it's just right on top of you, and then
well, you know where me and my producer Will Trubshaw, we hit up the Huntsman Center the other night and checked out the Utes and the Mountaineers in some Big 12 action. So cross another one off the list.
Oh, you go. So there you go. You
still got to do the Marriott Center.
You know what? It's not a bad one to miss. The last one you're going to be able to get's on Saturday. So I don't know. Well, I guess you're going to be on the road, so you're not going to be able to see it. But yeah, BYU Utah in the Marriott Center would be pretty fun to watch. So we're still checking off these bucket list sports items here for you in the state. So we'll keep them coming as we keep it going.
I would love to go to a Utah BYU Holy War type atmosphere event, some sport. I can't wait till these schools have club hockey teams, Division I hockey teams that are going up against each other. Like, that is going to be cinema, and I will be on the glass for those games.
Well, they'll probably ask you to call some of those games, so watch out. It won't just be cinema. It'll be work for you. You're going to have to do more work.
Yeah, I got to get my volunteer hours somewhere, right?
Yeah. Mike, we appreciate you getting off the Peloton to be able to chat with us today and hang out. So Mike's in Detroit, of course, with the team. They're taking on the Red Wings tomorrow. Massive one for this team. They got to get every point they can get. They need it. And they don't just need the other teams around them to lose in the standings. They need to start winning those games when those teams are losing as well. So, Mike, have fun on the road, and we'll chat with you again next week, man.
JJ and Alex, appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
buddy.
All right.
Have fun in Detroit.
Mike Fulton. See, we were going to let the Purdue thing go.
Yeah, now I'm convinced it's got to stay.
I think like a good Purdue fan, he likes to be abused a little bit.
Well, you know why he piped up? Because they've won 2 straight.
See? They're back on track.
They had a 2-game win streak, so he wanted to talk about the Boilermakers this time. We didn't really give him that satisfaction.
No. Well,
we'll just wait until they lose in the Big Ten tournament next week.
So think about when you were growing up, and Gene Keady was the guy with the comb over you'd watch on the bench coaching.
I couldn't tell you a Purdue player.
No, never
in the past, but everybody knew who Gene Keady was.
Gene Keady's hair,
and I was always curious, what did he put in his comb over to make it look so slick?
And you know what?
It shined.
By the way, that was a coach that you looked at and you went, he probably gets a lot out of those players. They're probably scared of him, right? He looked mean, didn't he?
Yeah,
he
was a pretty intimidating looking dude.
I think because he looked a lot like my dad. And so I think there was some of that. Or I'd see my dad and I'd be like, oof, My dad had this thing where he looked a little bit like Gene Keady, and he had a little bit of the attitude of the dad from Wonder Years. Lovable, but had a little bit of an edge, to him.
Yeah.
Where you were and had a military background, and at any moment
Korean war vet.
Could not that far back, but definitely what's his name from the Wonder Years? He saw some stuff. The dad saw some stuff. So that kind of translated into it.
Hey, Gene Keady saw some stuff.
Gene Keady saw some stuff. So there you go. Purdue's come around, man. All right, there you go. We've got more to talk about. Speaking of college basketball, great transition here. Let's jump in. We've got tons going on, and we only have an hour to do it. By the way, your Utah Jazz on the road, a battle of the bottom tonight. You're going to get a lot of who's who of who's going to lose this game. We don't know. You got the Washington Wizards in Washington, and the Utah Jazz. The Wizards winners of 11 games this year. The Jazz winners of 15. So who's going to come out on top?
Who's going to tank harder tonight?
I love
Jazz or Wizards?
I've got the injury report for you. We'll get you your Jazz Daily coming up, and we'll also get you ready for that game as well. So stay right here with us. Let's chat some BYU basketball from last night and what got them to that 2 overtime win against Iowa State. Historic fashion. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
And now, a look at traffic from the KSL Traffic Center.
A solid drive overall on the freeways across the Wasatch Front with some early southbound slowing on I-15 at the South Interchange. Only one city street crash reported at 13 East and 50th South. Advanced Window Products. Get $2,500 off 10 windows or more at advancedwindows.com. Affordable windows guaranteed. With your traffic update, I'm Alex Napolis here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Take the Zone with you wherever you go. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows.
Downloading.
Download the latest podcasts and get all the latest breaking news on the teams you can't live without. Everything you need delivered right to your phone.
Let's go get them where we can get them.
Just search KSL Sports on your app store of choice. Download it now. The KSL Sports app, presented by University of Utah Health.
Let me tell you about a way to be able to drop some weight, and it's not just about dropping weight. For me, I've struggled with my weight my entire life. And look, the reality is that you can drop weight on a lot of different programs, but it's about keeping it off. It's about having a sustainable program that's not just about losing the weight at the beginning and then walking away from it. They want to be there with you the long haul. This is SLC Fat Loss. That's what it's done for JJ and I. We've dropped the weight and we've kept it off.
Yeah, it's been great. Look, summer's coming up. You might be going to the lake, maybe going on vacation, maybe going to the beach, whatever it is. You want to look your best. What if I told you could lose a pound per day in 60 days? That's pretty crazy. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days on this program. If you're serious about weight loss, you want to change the way you look and feel, Salt Lake City Fat Loss is a great option. You don't have to do the pills and the injections, prepackaged meals. Lose weight fast, doing it the healthy, natural way. Salt Lake City Fat Loss.
SLCfatloss.com. That's SLCfatloss.com.
At Doug Smith Mitsubishi, we're all about making life a little easier. That's why the Mitsubishi Outlander is the SUV for every carpool, with an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. You can drive with confidence knowing Mitsubishi has your back every mile of the way. So swing by Doug Smith Mitsubishi today, and we'll get you into an Outlander that's ready for wherever the road takes you. Doug Smith Mitsubishi in American Fork. No one knows Mitsubishi like Doug.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, $149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice. Ain't nice. Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. $149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Why are we giving away free furnaces? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and the answer is simple. March is slow for us, and we want to keep our guys happy and working while the weather's mild. During the month of March, when you have Any Hour Services install a new air conditioner, we'll give you a new furnace for just the cost to install it, about $400. The furnace is free. You just pay the labor. All you have to do to get more information is schedule a free estimate. Call Any Hour Services today at 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Something amazing is happening here. AI is increasing workloads on CPUs and GPUs, but this company's laptops are more than keeping pace. That's because CDW worked with them to future-proof their laptop fleet by configuring them with devices enabled with AMD Ryzen AI. Improve performance and free up resources with AMD Ryzen and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/AMD client.
By now, you've heard Hans and Scotty raving about Bar W beef. But have you tried it for yourself? Build your own box with the cuts that you use the most and within your budget. They can deliver right to your door in Utah for $9.99 flat rate shipping. And right now, save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. Check them out online at barwbeef.com for the best steak and best beef you've ever had. Save 10% on your first order with promo code FIRSTORDER10. barwbeef.com. No middleman needed.
The KSL Sports Zone and Hercules Credit Union are highlighting people that impact youth sports. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com.
This is a Utah Jazz at 30 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Utah Jazz center Kyle Filipowski talks about sharing time on the court alongside Walker Kessler.
I think that's fantastic. I love Walker. I love playing with Walker. Playing alongside another big. I think I have a lot of experience with that. So, kind of being able to work hand in hand with a guy like Walker, I think that could bring a lot of good things to the team.
Utah Jazz at 30 updates are brought to you by University of Utah Health. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz. A big win for BYU next on JJ and Alex 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name. You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Dodgers needed a break, JJ. I was just thinking that. It's good that they got some pitching relief from Roki Sasaki, the newest addition out of Japan, as if they needed another world star on their roster to bolster the $400 million the $400 million roster. $400 million, not bad.
That's
next closest team, $120 million below that. The Phillies. Good job.
Does MLB care?
No, they don't. Because you're watching and you're turning it on. So there you go.
Are you?
I mean, Are
you sure about that?
I mean, we technically have it on in the studio. Watching baseball. All right. Guess what we got going on here? Utah Jazz basketball tonight against the Washington Wizards. You're going to get a pregame coming up at 4 o'clock. So we will pass the reins over early on a day like today. So the Jazz and the Wizards, your injury report is lengthy. We'll get to that next segment as we get you your Jazz Daily and get you ready for that one. But we got our money's worth last night, man. Look, for a game to pick for us to have on the airwaves here on the KSL Sports Zone, for BYU to have their broadcast kicked over to our station for a night. Our producer, Alex, ran the broadcast. Got himself got some overtime pay, I'm assuming, just because he's a double overtime situation. Come on.
You probably made a fortune last night.
But I'm telling you, BYU fans.
You're going to go have a nice steak dinner.
I was.
Going to Ruth's Chris this weekend.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be delightful.
Oh.
Have you tried the creamed spinach?
Oh, boy.
Listen, I'm telling you, BYU beating Iowa State, I want to say I'm sorry because I just didn't believe it was going to happen. Iowa State has beaten 12 teams in a row that came into Hilton Arena that were ranked. Ranked opponents coming in, and I think they'd only lost one game this season.
They somehow lost to Kansas State at home this year, did not play well in that game. Other than that, they've absolutely rolled at home.
Yeah, it's crazy. So BYU going in and being up 22, I think?
21.
21 in the second half.
On the Dallin Hall dunk, they went up 21 points, and you're thinking, wow.
Can't believe it.
BYU Nation was puffing their chest out on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And the slow chip away on the score, you knew it was coming. You knew there was going to be some bounce back from the Iowa State Cyclones, and they got it. And there's a reason they're the number 10 team in the country. There's a reason they were shooting the absolute lights out, and they were also not missing anything at the free throw line. And they were also very aggressive, by the way. They were going after BYU and going, look, we're going to foul you. We're going to force you guys to make your free throws. We're going to force you guys to be off of your spots to shoot. And I don't know how, but BYU was able to maintain that lead. And the turnovers that BYU had last night, what was it, 29?
29 turnovers. How do you win a game, period?
How do you beat a number 10 team in the country?
With 29 turnovers, yeah. BYU found a way.
Yeah. So they get the win. I don't know where this ranks in like, honestly, from a program perspective, try to give me the full top to bottom. Where does a win like this at number 10 Iowa State come in? Is it more significant than beating Kansas at Kansas last year when Kansas was ranked 7th, although they didn't really deserve that number 7 ranking at that moment?
Yes.
And I think that because of when this game came on the schedule and where it was and what it means for the implications of the tournament, not just the big tournament, I'm talking about the Big 12 tournament and where the seeding is going to be with that. Obviously, you got to take care of business against Utah on Saturday at home on Senior Day, but where does this one rank for you? Because this is a different program now in a conference, and it's a different program under Kevin Young, and it certainly is not the program that I watched when I was a student.
It's the biggest win for BYU in the Big 12. Bigger than the one they had at McHale Center against Arizona last week. Bigger than the one they had at Kansas last year. Now, that Kansas team last year, how good were they really?
Yeah, and they had injuries.
I know it was Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and it was Kansas, and there's an aura about that. But that Kansas team last year wasn't elite.
Yeah.
The Arizona team they beat last week, that's a good team. Iowa State, if the tournament was seeded today, would be on the 2 line. So there's 2 reasons why BYU's win at Iowa State is such a big deal for them and why I think it's their biggest Big 12 win yet. Number 1, they showed they could beat a team that's on the 2 seed line. They showed they could beat a team that's at that level. They can play with that team. They can go head-to-head with that team. Not only go head-to-head with them, but they can lead them by 21 points in their building. You're not going to have to play a team on the 2 seed in the tournament in their building.
Right.
You're not going to have a tougher situation than you had last night in a more hostile environment, and you came away victorious even after blowing that 21-point lead. The second reason why last night's win was such a big deal, BYU passed the toughness test. If you watch that game, you saw how physical the top teams in the Big 12 are. Look, BYU already knew that, but BYU has not played well against those teams that play that tough. They have not played well against Houston. They have not played well against Texas Tech. They did get Iowa State at home last year, but in their building, with how tight that team played, the refs let the game go. I know that BYU fans are really, really frustrated with the officiating, and if Iowa State wins that game, that's probably what everyone's talking about today. But BYU turned the ball over 29 times. It wasn't perfect. Yegor Demon made some "what are you doing" plays.
Yeah, he was sitting on the bench during some pretty key moments there at the end of regulation.
I'm not telling him anything that Coach Young's not telling him, and he's not having to go through in the film room. Yegor was soft last night. Soft as Charmin. That ain't going to fly in the NCAA tournament. And it's good you learned that lesson last night. You can't throw those passes and do the things he did last night in an NCAA tournament situation and come away victorious. They found a way to survive in a game like that by playing tough. They matched their toughness, and that Kebakeda block in the first overtime is exactly the example I would want to show when it comes to showing toughness, tenacity, total all-out effort, never giving up on any play. That's how you have to play to go to the Sweet 16, to go to the Elite Eight, and break through and finally get to a Final Four, which BYU has never done. They proved last night that they can actually get there.
With a win like that last night, you think that puts them on
if you can
people's
beat
minds
a
of being
2 seed in their building, why can't you do it in the NCAA tournament?
All right. Okay. Challenge accepted from BYU fans. Challenge accepted from BYU basketball.
If they lose last night, no one thinks anything of it. BYU's still in the tournament.
Right.
BYU's going to be fine. You go and win, it changes the perception of where you're at as a program, and they accomplished that last night. It wasn't perfect, but they did it.
What's the height? What's the highest that they could be ranked, do you think, from a seeding perspective of the NCAA tournament? If they're able to beat Utah, of course, at home to wrap things up regular season-wise, then they go into the tournament, the conference tournament, with a double bye, right? That's already in the books if they get that win over Utah. So they get the double bye into the quarterfinals. Do they need to win 2 games, like get to the final, to be able to move up to a 6 or even a 5 seed? Is that the highest they could be?
Oh boy!
What's the is the reality more a 7 seed situation for BYU, or do you think it's a 6 or? I mean,
yes.
What do they? How do they get
your question? Yes. To go a little deeper, They would have to continue a run that would include wins over a Houston, a Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead and see what they're facing here right now. Okay, Lenardi's got them as an 8 seed. I think after last night, and that's not updated, after last night, they're firmly moving up a line to 7, and they're probably getting in the conversation for 6.
They're moving up to a 7 seed and then moving right back to an 8 seed again when they have to put them in a Thursday, Saturday.
And you have to always keep that in mind that BYU is going
tournament.
to be punished because of the Sunday thing. They're always going to be moved down a seed line, and that's tough because right now I think they are playing better than an 8 seed. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
But that win over Iowa State probably moves them up at least 1 seed line, maybe 2. Now, what do you do next? We're all assuming that they're going to beat Utah on Saturday. I don't know if I wouldn't want to assume that, but they obviously, we know what happened earlier in this year. Utah got them, and I think BYU is going to be very, very motivated to get that win, and I expect them to win. Let's say they beat Utah. So then you go to the quarterfinals, and who are you going to have to face? The same team you just beat, most likely, unless Iowa State is upset. They'll probably be the 5 seed, and so we're going to have a rematch between BYU and Iowa State. If you beat Iowa State again on a neutral floor in the tournament, then you're probably facing Houston, who is a 1 seed. If you're going to beat Houston and you make it to the conference championship game and you're playing Texas Tech or Arizona, there's a chance for another massive win. So as far as BYU moving up seed lines in the NCAA tournament, how hot can they get? And how good are they really playing right now? Yeah. If you can beat Iowa State in Ames and you get hot here, they can go all the way up to a 5 seed, I think.
It's a Win Ticket Wednesday. We got tickets for you. We got to get out to the break here and get you ready for some Utah Jazz basketball, but it is a Win Ticket Wednesday. Call number 12 right now to 575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. Get yourself a pair of tickets to Hardy, May 29th at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Hardy's Jim Bob World Tour with Co Wetzel, Stephen Wilson Jr., McCoy Moore, all at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on May 29th. Get tickets at livenation.com now, but just win them right now as well. Call number 12, 801-575-ZONE. We'll come back, get you ready for some Jazz basketball with our Jazz Daily. Next, right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, bro. You hear us every day with our crazy opinions.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, now, it's time to hear from you.
Hey, great show.
Download the KSL Sports app and fire off your thoughts with the call-in tab on the bottom of your screen.
Your show is fantastic. It's the one that captivates me the most.
You can tell PK to stop singing.
G-Bangs! G-Bangs!
Let Jake and Ben know what you really think of the Jazz. Woo! Tell Hans and Scotty about your favorite barbecue spot or what color of tie JJ should be wearing on TV. The best entries will be played on the air. Download the KSL Sports app now and hit the call-in button to let your voice be heard.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Alpine Home Medical, alpinehomemedical.com for all of your at-home medical needs. There's a reason they're the best in the state. There's a reason that they are 15 years running best in state and best of Utah because they really do bring wellness home. How about a CPAP resupply program that they offer? That's something that they can deal with on their end. They will take care of anything. If it's a lift chair, if it's walkers or scooters or power chairs, power lift chairs, any of it, you can get great deals on them right now, and they'll take care of it with your insurance. Let Alpine Home Medical make sure that you get all the things that you need or for that loved one.
Could I interest you in some compression stockings?
Why not?
Improve your circulation with Alpine Home Medical's new compression stockings made in comfortable and updated styles, colors, and fabrics to improve circulation and reduce swelling. Call, click, or visit any of the 11 locations to buy 3 and receive a free care kit. Alpine Home Medical, bringing wellness home.
AlpineHomeMedical.com. That's AlpineHomeMedical.com.
When you drive a Subaru, the destination is the journey. And there's no better place to start than at Doug Smith Subaru. Come test drive the all-new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek, a compact SUV built to take you on all your exciting Wasatch treks. And with its all-wheel drive and 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine, getting there will be so much fun. You'll be ready to leave as soon as you get there. Doug Smith Subaru. No one knows adventure like Doug.
Scott Gerard, Hans Olsen, and Hans, spring is coming, and it's time to protect your home for the upcoming spring rain. IWC Roofing is going to make sure that your home is ready for the rainy season.
And with the spring season, you're going to get amazing spring discount, $1,500 off a replacement roof. All you got to do is call or go to their website, get it scheduled, $1,500 off. And remember, IWC, built here in the state of Utah in 1997, the highest rated roofing contractor in Utah.
They've been in business since 1997. The best warranty in the business, backed by Owens Corning. Call right now for that free estimate and a roof inspection. 801-232-5690.
IWC, fully staffed and ready to put a new roof on your house in just a single day. They can get an entire roof done in a day.
801-232-5690 or check them out online at iwcroofing.com.
Hey, Utah, it's the water boy, Colson Firmage here, a third-generation Culligan man. Are you tired of hard water wreaking havoc on your home? At Culligan Water, we offer top-rated water softening solutions that protect your appliances, keep your skin feeling soft, and make your water taste amazing. My grandfather started working at Culligan in Salt Lake City over 50 years ago, and Culligan is your trusted local water expert. Some would say we're the godfather of water systems. Do you know if your old water system is even running correctly? Give us a call today and schedule a free water test of your current system, any make or model. Just give us a call at 801-509-9602 or visit us online at culliganslc.com. In addition, receive $500 off a water softener, plus get free salt delivery for a year. Again, that's $500 off a water softener, plus get free salt delivery for a year. Enjoy cleaner, softer water and experience the Culligan difference. Call 801-509-9602 or visit us online at culliganslc.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is a Utah Hockey Club at 50 update on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Andre Turney talks about not wanting to lose their competitive edge with a few days off between games.
We don't want to lose our rhythm. I think we did a good job after the formation. Got at such a pace when we got in the game in LA. We're up and running right away. It's the same principle. We have 4 days. That's the main thing. We need to get out there, get the intensity up, but it's more maintaining our structure, maintaining our strength right now than changing anything.
Utah Hockey Club at 50 updates are brought to you by ReadyWise. Be wise, be ready. Your trusted partner in emergency preparedness. We get you ready for Jazz Wizards next on JJ and Alex 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming. Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz. It's time! All season long and even in the off-season, it's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, you know what that music means. It is our Jazz Daily segment right here. Brought to you by the good folks at the Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals, part of your Hercules Hero of the Week award. All you have to do is go to kslsports.com/contest and nominate the youth sports volunteer in your neighborhood for the Hercules Hero of the Week. We honor those winners every week right here on the program. And you can just do it by just go to kslsports.com/contest. JJ, injury report for the Jazz versus the Washington Wizards tonight. Jordan Clarkson out. John Collins out. Walker Kessler is going to be out with rest. Larry Markkinen still working on the back. My back!
Oh,
out.
my back.
Colin Sexton, ankle, out. Long list of guys who are going to be out against this Wizards team.
Jazz going to go young tonight, hoping to lose against the Wizards on the road. That's going to be really tough to pull out because the Wizards are bad. Jordan Poole plays for them, so.
How dare you? Hey, Kuzma moved on, didn't he?
Yeah, he got lucky. He got out of there. Now he's playing with the Bucks. He's got a chance.
Listen. The business of the NBA is really funny.
Yeah.
Poor Kyle Kuzma was sitting there for a minute, and
hey, don't worry about it. He got paid to go sit there and deal with whatever that is that Washington's doing.
Jazz Wizards, and so that does mean it's going to be a very young lineup tonight. You're going to see it. You're going to hear it right here. Of course, the coverage, as always, pregame. Right here on the KSL Sports Zone, your radio home of the Utah Jazz on the SCG Audio Network. And so you're going to get the coach, Tim Lacombe. You're going to get Jake Scott. So stay tuned because we've got it all for you right here. You don't want to miss any of it. And then we'll be back, of course, again tomorrow. Another short show tomorrow. So let's make sure and get it all in. For JJ, our producer Alex, I'm Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Stay up to date with everything Utah Jazz related with the new Jazz Notes newsletter. Receive game updates, exclusive analysis, and chances to win Jazz tickets. Visit KSLSports.com to sign up for the Jazz Notes newsletter. Get the latest Utah sports headlines delivered to your inbox with the KSL Sports Newsletter from the Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, BYU, Utah, Real Salt Lake, and more. Be in the know of all things sports in the state of Utah. Visit KSLSports.com to sign up for the KSL Sports Newsletter.
SLC Fat Loss and SLCFatLoss.com. The person who gets on SLC Fat Loss, JJ, is the person who gets on there and wants to drop 15 to 20% of that body weight. And that's what you get in the first reduction phase of this program. But more importantly, you keep the weight off. It's exactly what's happened with you and I on this program. And people who get on this program, they have the same type of success.
Yeah, they're going to give you a plan that's going to help you succeed. And if you want to lose weight for the summer, look, you're going to go out to the beach, you're going to go out to the lake, whatever you're doing this summer, you want to look good and feel good. Drop that weight now. Salt Lake City Fat Loss will help you do it fast. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days on this program. You can have similar results.
Let me just point you to the website. What you have to do is just go over, check it out for yourself, slcfatloss.com. You get $200 off of the program right now. If you made that commitment at the front end of the year, let's recommit. Let's get with a program that will actually you be able to have that success and see that success. So slcfatloss.com. Go check it out. Same program JJ and I have been on. It's slcfatloss.com.
Hans and Scotty here with our friends with Advanced Window Products. We're huge fans of what they're doing. And with summer just around the corner, that AC is going to be running nonstop, Hans. You want to save money? You've got to have the best windows in place. And Advanced Windows is going to make that happen for you.
And as always, Advanced Window Products wants to take care of our listeners. Receive $2,500 off 10 windows or more. And remember, the products are top of the line, energy efficient, made with high-quality glass and vinyl, with all parts being made right here in the United States of America.
They have options available for any budget and also offer several financing plans, including 60 months, no interest, and no payment, no interest for 24 months. There's no reason you shouldn't be getting these new windows. $2,500 off when you swap out 10 windows or more. All you have to do is call 801-850-9100 or go to advancedwindows.com.
A lifetime warranty is transferable for a next owner. Just call 801-850-9100.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99.